Hey guys, welcome back to a Pass the Rock, a new series, kind of not really series, but title at least for episodes where me and Aiden are talking about certain topics together that we feel like matters. And in today's video, we are talking about playoff player stocks and what teams should do and what's I guess how we feel about it. I'm your host Smokey,
And I'm Aiden, and let's get right into it.
and to start off, we have Jalen Duren, of course, the biggest topic probably of the playoffs, maybe not the biggest topic, but the biggest question. He was pretty awful throughout the entirety of the playoffs, and we can go back and look at
Yeah.
the Orlando Magic game. And in this game, you can see he not the game, the series. He only averaged 10.6 points, and I really think that he was just I don't know why he's just I can't even I don't know why I'm mixing my words up right now. He was just not there offensively for them.
Yep.
They really needed their second best option, who should have been him, to step up. To go from almost 20 points per game in the regular season on 65% field goal percentage, by the way, which is insane, to 10 in the playoffs. And I know Orlando's a defensive team, but this is where you need your stars to show up. If I'm not mistaken, Jalen Durham was an All Star or an All NBA player this year, um, and he really didn't seem like it. He got the rebounds, whatever. You're gonna get that as a tall guy. He's physical. His defense is perfectly fine. He had 5 blocks in one of these games. But when you're not there offensively, it makes it so much harder for your team to do anything. And in the Cleveland series, he averaged even less. He averaged 9.9, not even 10 points a game. And that is just unacceptable. Um, I think a lot of people were really high on Jaden Duran before going into the playoffs, and now it has all just fell apart against relatively not good teams. Orlando was not even expected to be here. Yeah, y'all did come back, but y'all were down 3-1 at one point. And then Cleveland, who ended up getting swept next round, they were good, but it wasn't like, oh my God, it's the Celtics, the Knicks, something that you really expect to see coming out of the East, which of course the Knicks did. But yeah, Jalen Duran has dropped a lot for me at least. How do you feel about it, Aiden?
Um. Well, okay. With Jalen Duren, it's hard. It's hard because he's young. His contract right now is 6 million, and after this year, if he really, you know, All NBA third team, fucking All Star, he wants to get paid, but they're not gonna pay him,
Yeah,
especially after how he performed in the playoffs. And the thing is, man, this going 6 mil. Going up from 6 mil, that's
to almost a max. Yeah,
yeah. And if you're not, and if he's gonna do that again, then they're just not gonna pay him. They shouldn't pay him if you know. But and obviously Dern wants his money. So I don't know if they're really gonna come to an agreement at all, or what's gonna happen.
yeah,
I don't think the Pistons should pay him. Obviously, you're not gonna if you're Duran, you're not gonna take that offer of getting paid less. So, um,
the thing is, I think he might. I think they might offer him like
well, I
I
mean, yeah, but like
something like 20 mil, maybe 15, but I don't know. Um,
you're just gonna want to get paid more, and so I don't know.
yeah, it's
I
hard.
don't know because like that that was just awful. He could just not. He was just not in a presence at all in the offense. It was just so bad, and they I don't know. They got to do something. They got to do something here for something because they need an offense that that's not just Cade
Yep.
by himself. So they need to do something here. So um
Yeah.
I if yeah I'm they're just not gonna pay him. and I don't think Duran is gonna take the money, but I don't know. Maybe he will
I think he might
if they offer him.
understand. The thing for me is I would want the Pistons, as much as it seems bad, is would to probably trade him. Um, because yes, I do understand he is very young. Um, at only 22 years of age, and he will be 23, I think, when next season starts. And I don't know if it's hard to say trade him, but the gap to win a championship closes really quickly. They always say that. And if you are the number one seed and you have to take your chance, because we understand in 4 years, it's probably San Antonio's league. Like, that is 4 years of development for Wemby, Castle, and Harper, you know? And then you'll be pretty much in your guys' prime years. And maybe Jalen Duren can improve, but in this playoffs, he only averaged 8 shots per game. And from arguably your number two option, you need more offense from that. You know, uh, it's just in the regular season he averaged 10 to 11 to at least to sometimes 13 shots per game. And to see him fall off that much and not even attempt, it's not that he missed, it's he didn't even attempt it. We talked all about Chet Holmgren, and we'll get to him later, who only took 2 shots in the game seven. And it's like, as the next guy up, you need to take those shots. And something that is really worrying with Jalen Duren and, of course, the entire Detroit Piston team is that they have no spacing. There is no spacing outside of Cade Cunningham. And even then, Cade is not the greatest 3 point shooter. Jaden Duran
Yeah,
took 0 3 point shots in the playoffs. When you have no spacing as a center and you are not averaging 25 points per game in the regular season, it's really hard to have you on the court for so much money. And I'm worried for the Pistons because I feel like they do trust Jalen Durant and they will extend him or give him the max rookie contract. But well, not rookie contract, but max contract that he's eligible for. I'm just worried that that's going to be a really bad decision. You're going to lose a lot of the cap space you need for someone else who could be better. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, Tobias Harris is uh, if I'm not mistaken, a free agent
campaign.
this year. So
Yeah,
they're going to have to pay him something, you know. And Tobias Harris played amazing this season. So he's going to want more money than he has, which I think might be 10 to 15 mil. And then you pretty much have to rework the entire roster because of the fact that it's just not enough. Your team is not good enough to beat San Antonio, to beat the OKC, you know, to even make it out the East. That's the biggest thing you have to worry about. Like, New York's emergence has been amazing for the East, looking like an exceptional team. They're on a 12-game win streak now as of this day, uh, 6-4-26. And I don't know if the Pistons can do it. I feel like they need to make a move now, and I feel like you want to do it at the peak of his price before it starts falling. Because we don't know how this is going to translate into next year, of course. But if it goes downwards, he's going to be even worse. And then nobody's going to want a center who can't space the floor and who doesn't take that many shots. You know, he'd be a fine backup center, but not a fine starting center. That's the hardest part. And I could be completely wrong, but I think we're both definitely low on him as of right now. Would you agree?
yeah. I mean, man, the Pistons, their depth is so tragic.
Yeah.
It's so tragic.
Yeah. And it's not
Tobias
like they have
Harris is getting
injuries.
paid. Yeah, yeah. Tobias getting paid 26 million, and at the second highest salary on his team. And if they pay Jalen Duren, and I don't know. This is the. It's honestly a miracle that they're number one. This team is. I'm
Yeah.
just looking, and it's just crazy. But yeah, Jalen Duren is just, yeah, definitely low on him. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think I I don't know if they should really move away. Um, but I don't know. You know, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I
We
think it's
don't
just
know.
hard
We'll see what
because
happens.
he is up for, I think, the contract, and it's like, if you don't give it to him, will someone else do it? And that's kind of like, do you give all that money to him? What if he doesn't pan out? Then you waste all that money, you know? Kind of like, in a word, and another guy will get on to Paulo Banchero. So, yeah. But because we talked about Tobias Harris, he's the next up on our list. Tobias Harris, is the next player that we are going to talk about. I actually need to full screen my thing. Um, I don't need full screen, whatever. And he went from averaging 13.3 points per game in the regular season on only 46.9% from the field. He is a forward. I think he's a three. Could be a four. I'm not exactly sure, but that doesn't matter. To averaging in the Orlando series 21.6 points per game, which is amazing from Flip. This is what you want from a player who isn't your number one option, although he did have to take a lot of shots. But this is kind of what they needed, but it was not, he could not sustain it. As we see on to the next series with Cleveland, with 20 points, and it went down every game from game 3, excuse me, and then he made no shots in the final game uh against Cleveland. You know, it was a 3-2 and it was 3-3 game 7. 0 points in game 7, not a good look. Only 6 points in game 6. But I will say, I do think the Pistons should keep him. I don't think he should be the number one option. Not number one option, number 2 option. I think he should be number 3 option, as what he should stay, because he looked pretty consistent on both sides of the floor. Uh, but yeah, there's not much to talk about here. I just wanted to mention him because he kind of did rise to the occasion that they needed. He was great in the Orlando game. He was relatively good for half of the Cleveland series, but yeah, I'm definitely high on him, but not like amazingly high, but definitely like I would give you like 10 to 15 mil to be my third option, fourth option. You know, maybe that might be it. I don't know about 20 mil. That might be a bit too much on the higher end, but I don't know what his contract will be coming up or is already. How do you feel?
Well, I mean, okay, when they acquired him, he's getting paid 26 million. Um,
Damn,
it. I mean, hey man, if you're third, your third option, bro. Um,
that's not bad, but
they
damn.
gonna need they gonna need pay him. They gonna need pay him more than 10 mil for sure.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
just
Kevin Herter is getting paid 17.
Kevin. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I just think it's a lot for only 13.3 points per game in the regular season. Um,
Yeah,
and
I mean it is a lot.
his 3 point percentage this year was actually not too bad. He's gotten a little better from the last few years.
He's also pretty
36.8.
old.
Yeah, he is pretty old, which is why I don't really want to pay a 34-year-old who is not even averaging 14 points per game in the regular season. I know regular season does not mean much, right? Because like, especially now that we've seen, like regular season does not mean anything as we've seen in the playoffs, right? It means some stuff, but at the end of the day, if you can't prove it in the playoffs, it unfortunately almost doesn't matter. Um, and he did show up, which is why I think he deserves some money. But I think if you want to build the Pistons well, it's hard to give him 26 mil, which he might want 30 mil, you know, which is like, that's a huge part of your cap for a guy who is
Mhm.
not super amazing defensively and isn't an amazing scorer or an amazing playmaker. So it's like, I don't know where they go from this. Like he's a great pickup to have, but I just don't know. They have a lot of stuff to actually worried about. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, this roster is not good.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, like you said, I don't know how they're number one, but I think that'll be enough for the Pistons. Let's move on to the next player. Rudy Gobert. Okay, of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Um, so Rudy, it's a hard one. I know he gets a lot of hate. Um, but I'll give him some props for being able to defend and kind of somewhat stop um, Nikola Jokic. They win in 6 against them. Granted, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken, Aaron Gordon was kind of injured, and I think Peyton Watson also was injured for probably the entirety of the series. So two very big, important names for Denver, which both of them probably might not come back depending on what Denver's offseason is. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Rudy Gobert, who averaged 10 points, 10.9 points per game in the regular season and 11.5 rebounds on 68% from the field, the highest field goal percentage in the league. Unfortunately, if only he could do that every game, but he can't. And we see that. My big problem, I don't like Rudy Gobert. Aiden knows this, is that he just cannot score the ball. He only
Mhm.
takes about 5.5 to 6 field goals per game on any game. It doesn't matter, and that's all you're getting from him. He is not a lob threat because he misses a lot of dunks. He does not have the timing for it. He does not have the verticality for it, and it's just he has to just hope his height can carry him and he can get an easy open dunk. But most of the time that doesn't happen. Sometimes it does, but most of the time it doesn't. And when he is on the court, and we just talked about this with Jalen Duren, and he cannot floor the space the floor at all. He only took First of all, he only took 2 3-pointers in the entirety of these 2 series, which for sure he should not take a shot. Obviously, it's the playoffs. You need the best players taking the shots, so he shouldn't be taking 3-pointers, because he's not that. But when you have a big or a center who cannot space the floor, that makes the game much, much harder. We've seen teams evolve into being able to have a floor spacing center, and that makes it so much easier for everyone else. The entire defense, no, not entire defense, the entire offense. It just makes it a lot easier. But look, he took more shots than Jalen Duren, I guess, from 3, which is somewhat reputable, but not really. But yeah, he just is a 0 on offense. Like, I don't know. And this is where they really needed him to kind of show up against Wemby, and he really kind of didn't. Wemby was still really there on the offense. It wasn't like his defense was that crazy. And me and Aiden always say, or at least I say, is a good offense is always going to beat a good defense unless you are Wemby, and even then, Wemby can only do so much, as we are seeing currently um, with their own playoffs. And when you can't score at all or make free throws, it's hard. He went
Mhm.
3 for 9 from 3. Well, not from 3, from the free throw line against the Spurs. And that's where you can start to get into the hack a Shaq part. Obviously, you don't have to because he just can't make buckets. Like, it's really tough. And he doesn't shoot. I don't know. It's hard. I'm really low on him. I think the Timberwolves should trade him. While his value is still somewhat reputable, he is 33. We just talked about Tobias Harris being 33,
Yeah.
and I don't think you go into him being 34 and trying to win. Maybe if you had a guy like Giannis, if they can get Giannis, then fine. Rudy's great next to Giannis because Giannis is really good defensively and really good offensively. So then you have Giannis and Ants, and that's a super deadly duo that actually could maybe make it out the West. But when you don't have a guy like Giannis, and the fact that the Timberwolves are not the front runners for Giannis, if they cannot get Giannis, they should move away from Rudy Gobert. Um, and I mean, I don't know where you really go. If I'm gonna be honest, I would say maybe if you can get, um, let's see, who's a good starting center they can maybe trade for around the league. Um, that's hard. I do not know a lot of centers. Uh, I don't know. Maybe Jonas Valanciunas, who's gonna probably wait by Denver. He's not the greatest guy, but he can split minutes with Nas Reed. Um, Obviously that's not the best thing, but he at least can score buckets. Uh, he's not the defensive guy like Rudy Gobert, but honestly, I don't think the team has to worry about defense as much. Their offensive, if Ant is injured or Ant is not having an amazing game, their offense really kind of struggles. Against the Spurs, they didn't even average 107 They averaged. They got close, but not really. Um, it's just hard seeing your center not being able to score points in crucial moments when you need it to be, and that was very evident in the Denver series. How do you feel about him, Aiden?
Um, well, I mean, yeah, everything you say is completely true. It's just complete complete liability on offense. If there's no threat, then you don't need to guard a guy. You don't need. That's just less load off a player, and it's just, it's just, they just need to move on from Rudy, just entirely. They
Yep.
just need to. It's just, uh, man, it just. How long has Rudy been on this team for? It just,
I think 4 years,
for
3
4
years.
years. Yeah, it just hasn't worked. It's just, and he's just getting older. It's
Yep.
again, he's gonna be turning 34. He's just gonna start regressing. I think, I think, I think we talked about. I think you said trading him with the Bucks, and then they receive Miles Turner or some shit like that.
Yeah, that is what I would actually want to see. If Giannis stays in Milwaukee, which all signs are pointing he's not. Yeah, the reason why I say that is because putting a really good defensive guy next to Giannis makes Giannis's load a lot easier on the defensive end. As Miles Turner is not the greatest defender, he's fine. You know, not terrible. He's perfectly fine for a center. But adding a guy like Rudy to where Giannis does not need to be the focal point of the defense, um, it just makes it easier for Milwaukee. And I think their contracts might align. I don't know if you have looked that up or not. I don't know, but I think it's somewhat
um.
close. Um,
Uh. Well. The Bucks would begin. Well, you said Miles Turner, KPJ, and then if something like that, and then the Wolves give up Rudy and some picks, and that'll give the Bucks like uh 5 more million to
to
into
work
the
with. Okay,
to
yeah,
the yeah. And
yes,
uh I mean, yeah, I mean Miles Turner is not a bad uh center. He's actually a pretty good center. And
the finals last year. Yeah,
KPJ, you know.
KPJ's pretty solid. You know, next to Ant could be really good,
Yeah.
especially because I think they're losing Io this year. They would really want to try to keep Io if they could, but I don't think he is staying for what he's getting. If I'm thinking, um, and a lot of teams can offer him a lot better packages, so I think Io's probably gone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, Miles Turner was my idea. I actually completely forgot about that, Aiden. Good thing you remember that. Holy crap. Uh, yeah, because Miles Turner can space the floor. He can defend decently. He can score from inside. And obviously, this year was not Miles Turner's best year. But Miles Turner does not have to be some insane machine. You know, he just has to be consistent, and that's all you really need. And you get pretty much everything else that Rudy does from him besides the good defense. But Rudy's not the best perimeter defender. Miles Turner's a little bit better there, but he's not as good as an interior defender. Um, it's just the spacing. It just helps them so much more.
Mhm.
And if you can get KPJ, which might be a bit of an overpay, but if Rudy Gobert, or not Rudy Gobert, the Minnesota Timberwolves give up picks, it could be good. And maybe then they give up, I don't know, Dante to Milwaukee, who actually might be teammate. He probably makes too much money. Maybe Terrence Sanders Jr., who they get back to kind of play KPJ's role. Because he's on a lower contract. But yeah, uh, the Wolves, like you said, have to get rid of Rudy Gobert. I don't think they can ever win with Rudy Gobert unless
The
they're
Wolves?
yeah,
Or you say the Wolves?
yeah, the Wolves to get rid of Rudy Gobert.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. No, not the Bulls. I think might have been close, but uh, I just don't see them winning with them. You know, kind of like how what I said about ants, not ants, cats. Obviously, cats doing really good on New York right now, but that might be because of the team built around Jalen Brunson is so well put together. All the guys are super talented and really good. Chemistry's also there, whereas he didn't really fit on the Wolves, and I just don't think Rudy Gobert really fits on the Wolves either. Um,
Yeah.
it's just they need to do something, and because they need to maximize Ant's like 25-year-old to I don't even know how old Ant is right now. It might be 25, 24.
He's going in. Yeah, he's 24 going into 25.
Okay, that's what I expected. Yeah. So you kind of want to maximize these next 5 years before the Spurs are like an unbeatable team, or like not unbeatable, but like a super big threat. And obviously, you
Hmm.
still have to remember you have to beat OKC. You guys are on the West now, so all of the East does not matter at all until the finals. So you have to be able to beat these teams in front of you. There's still Denver, the Denver Nuggets, who are always going to be contending, right, for at least the next 3 years. Um,
Yeah.
and you probably might have to verse them. They faced them up like think like 4 times in the last like 6 years, or 3 times, two, three, something big.
Yeah.
And yeah, y'all did beat them this time, but they were kind of injured, and it's hard. I guess you guys are injured too, granted, but it's hard to keep a guy like Rudy Gobert. Yeah, and we can move on to another Timberwolves one because we did spend a little bit too much time on Rudy. Julius Randle. Ooh,
Yep.
uh, this was very disappointing offseason for him. He was not what they really needed from a number two option. Um, he averaged 12.8 points against the Spurs, which, everyone's like, oh, Spurs defense is really good. And it is. You got Wemby, you got all good defenders around Wemby. That's understandable. But to drop almost 8 points per game against this team is just not acceptable. Um, he didn't shoot the ball good. Shot 34% from the field, shot 19% from three. Doesn't take that many threes, right? Doesn't space the floor that much. As a player, he is also 31, so he's getting up there. He's not on Anthony Edwards' timeline, right?
Hmm.
And yeah, he did play good in Denver. He played 19.2 points per game, but Denver's one of the worst defensive in the leagues. You're gonna verse him every time. He wasn't even that efficient in the Denver series. He shot 43% from the field, and shot zero. Oh my bad. Yeah, he shot 30% from three, which is, I guess, okay if you're only taking three, but it's not great. Also, only shot 74% from the free throw line, which is not great at all. And as we say, this is playoffs matter the most, and if you don't show up for playoffs, it's hard to keep you on the team. And he makes a lot of money, if I'm not mistaken. Upwards of 20, if I'm not think, if I think right.
He's making 30.
Yeah, okay, upwards of 20.
Next year he's
Okay,
making
yeah.
33.
So I think you try to flip him for either assets or a really young, good player. If you want to maximize the winning table, then obviously a good younger player or just a good player in general. Um, he kind of it's just he's taking a lot of these shots and just not making them. You know, 3 of 12, 4 of 10, 8 of 20, 6 of 17, a 1 of 8 in Game 7 or Game 6 against the Spurs. Even against the
Hmm.
Nuggets, 6 of 17 is not good. 6 of 16 is not good. 6 of 15 is not good. It's hard, and yeah, you can make it work if everyone else is really good. But when you're making 30 mil, that is like too much for a guy who isn't that efficient and isn't scoring 20 plus points per game. Tobias Harris
Yeah.
outplayed him in the playoffs, and Tobias Harris is worth even less than him and averaged 8 less points than him in the regular season. Um, it's just hard. Him and Rudy need to both leave the team or get traded to get as much assets back and good players back. And I don't know where they go exactly if they don't get Giannis. But they need to do something. Like I don't want to see him on the Timberwolves anymore. I know it's only been 1 year, but there's a reason why New York like dropped him. I don't know. It's hard. How do you feel about Julius Randle?
Um. Well, this this playoffs he averaged 16 on 39% from the field. Last year he averaged 21.7 um on 50% from the field in the playoffs. So this is just a bad year. This was just really bad. This was just super bad. His nickname dubious handles because he don't got handles. it's
Yeah.
it's just he is just he's just a liability, you know. I know, and I know as you know, Julius Randle is a good player. Um, he's a decent two-way player. His defense is good. His offense, dubious handles. I mean, his offense is okay, but I and but you know the what we've seen from this playoffs and what he's getting paid and how old he is, him and Rudy, it's just not looking it's just not looking good for the Wolves if they're gonna stick with both of these two. Like, what are you gonna do if you stick with these two, or at least one? What are you gonna do next year? You're really not gonna get much, and so you just have to get rid of him. Like, you just need to get rid of him
Yeah.
because this team is not. There's no depth, and there's really not that much to this team. You know,
There's a little depth,
is
but they're really banged up this offseason. I
I
think
mean, yeah, but like it's just there there isn't there isn't that star next to
next
Ant.
to Ant,
There's
yeah,
there's yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
that's the big problem. I mean, it's supposed to be Julius Randle, but we just saw what he did in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
If your star is averaging 12.8 points per game against either arguably the best team in the league or the second best team in the league, it's not good. You know, and granted their defense is great, but like I said, they're not. It's not that great. You know, don't get me wrong. I love the Spurs defense and Wemby and all of them, but I know Wemby's not that amazing to put you down 8 points per game. You know, it's not even like 5 points per game down. It's eight. That's a big margin. That's almost half of his points per game. Uh, and the biggest thing that is worrying for the Minnesota Timberwolves is you won. First of all, you can't tank next year, which I don't know why you would, but you just can't. So there's no reason to get worse. Two, Dante is out for pretty much the entire season. That is
Mhm.
your starting shooting guard or point guard, whatever way, probably point guard. But regardless, he's out. So your team automatically gets worse. You're gonna lose Io in the offseason unless you somehow trade Julius Randle for some lower money and then you re-sign Io. I don't know how you can make it work, but I think I'm pretty sure Io's gone. So you're losing depth. None of your young players are really that amazing to where they can step up to be the number two option or the replacement for Dante. Super good, you know. So Dante also might get traded. Damn, my throat is getting dry when I was talking. Dante also might get traded. So the Wolves really have to decide what they're gonna do to maximize Ant's career. Um, Usually stars at their prime around 30. Julius Randle will be turning 32 going into the next season. And it's just, do you take the risk on him? I don't think it's worth, especially as a number two option. Number three option, fine. For less money, fine. But he's not going to take less money. So I think you just got to try to get him out. I think if you trade Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo for MPJ on the Nets, with you might be able to get like a second round pick back as well. That honestly is probably the best thing. MPJ is a really good player, can be a really good number two option next to Ant. You know, uh, I don't know. I just know that Julius Randle is not going to be good for this team, and if they keep him, I just don't think the Wolves have any chance of winning next year. You know, they're not like the Pelicans who you try to make playoffs. You're trying to win playoffs, um, and you gotta do it now. There's nothing else you can really do, I guess. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, we'll go on to the next player. Okay. Alperen Sengun. Um, Sengun did not look the greatest out here. Um, he looked not. I want to say not the greatest, but he wasn't what you expected in a baby Jokic. Um, was not very efficient some of these games. Some of them were okay. On the defensive end, he's solid-ish, but he's not super high, I would say.
Hmm.
You have Kevin Durant, you have Amen Thompson, you have Jabari Smith Jr., who's number 3 pick. It's really hard to, I guess, say he's worth so much money if they can't beat a talentless, injured Los Angeles Lakers, Los Angeles can't speak Los Angeles Lakers team, um, with just LeBron James. LeBron James did play good. Luke Kennard did play good, but y'all have Kevin Durant
Yep.
and a really good core. Y'all number 2 seed last year, which again, as we say, the regular season doesn't matter because y'all got knocked out round 1 by the Warriors last year, and this year I knocked out round 1 by an injured Lakers team who nobody expected you guys to lose to. Even me and Aiden didn't have you guys losing in our predictions.
Hmm.
And yeah, maybe y'all lose to OKC. Fine, y'all young, but I don't know. I don't know how much money he's making. Um,
35 million.
yeah, that's a lot. Um,
Yeah.
that is a lot. Like, I guess
Yeah.
he played okay, but I don't know, man. It's hard.
Well, well, here's the thing, is they they only have two options, and it's either they capitalize on the window that they have with Kevin Durant, or they have to push a player like Sengun out. That's kind of the options that they really only got here. And
Yeah,
or yeah, so they either stick with Kevin Durant and push um uh either push Sengun out and just build around Kevin Durant more and just go for that small window that they have right now, or they just have to they just trade Kevin Durant or something, and they just restart with Sengun, because Sengun's only 23. He's going next year 24. Like this team, it's young and it's some of it's a little old. Kevin Durant's 37.
yeah,
Fred VanVleet, he's 32. Steven Adams 32. Dorian Finney-Smith is 33, and Clint Capella is 32. So like, but they've got a lot of young guys. So they either have to push for that small window that they have for the title, or they just keep Sengun and they kind of just they can run it back. Honestly, they can try because they have Fred VanVleet now, and Steven Adams was injured in the Lakers series.
yeah,
So, but I think I don't know if they really should move off of Sengun. He's still very young. He's
yeah,
23, but he's getting paid a lot. But
yeah,
I think I don't know because I don't know if they should really get rid of Kevin Durant. I mean, they gave so much up for Kevin Durant, or not
yeah.
so much, but they gave up a young player and the back
Jalen
shots for
Green,
Kevin Durant.
yep, which are all both doing perfectly fine on
Yeah,
Suns. Dylan Brooks is playing great on the Suns.
yeah, he's
Jalen
doing
Green's
great.
just Jalen Green. Um, Yeah, it's hard. I wouldn't say trade out for Sengun. I know a lot of people are saying to trade him. I just don't think
Yeah,
you would give
yeah,
him as much
everyone's saying.
money. And obviously I don't know how long his contract's still going for, but that besides the point, it's hard.
4 years.
Okay, so it's hard because he is good. He is young. It's hard because Kevin Durant's here, and also I was gonna have
Hmm.
Kevin Durant on the list, but I didn't want to make it too long. But screw it, Kevin Durant's here. Um, I think he only played one game in the full season. It says. I think he probably was injured for the other one. Um,
Yeah.
and that game he was fine, but in the regular season we could already see some struggles uh with their team. Granted, they did end pretty well, but it's just I don't think you can win with Kevin Durant. Like, does Fred Van Fleet and Steven Adams, both coming at a year older, by the way. Freddie
Yeah.
is not that young. Neither is Steven Adams. Kevin Durant's getting way older. You're gonna see some sort of regression. Just even if it's like half a point, half a rebound, whatever, some sort of regression from any. Oh damn! Any of those players. Excuse me. Um, and that's where I just don't think it's hard because if you can't move Kevin Durant, you got to move Alfred Sengun because the team isn't winning a title with these guys, you know. And the problem with it is, if you don't move either one, do you believe these guys can all step up that much to beat a year from now Spurs, a year from now OKC Thunder? It's so hard to win in the West, especially against these two giants. And then you have to
Hmm.
still deal with the Timberwolves and the Lakers when they'll be better, depending on what they do. And Denver. Those are all powerhouse teams that are always going to be here for the next 2, 3 years. And if you have Kevin Durant on your team, you only have 2 to 3 years before he retires. He's not going to be here for 4 plus years. Maybe year four he might, but I don't think so. Right? Kevin Durant in 4 years will be 41, and I just don't see them winning within that window with this team, even with Fred VanVleet. Um, he's not going to solve their problems. They need better point guard creation. They need Amen Thompson to start scoring better. They need Alfred Sengun to be more of
Hmm.
baby Jokic, but maybe better on the defensive end. You know, um,
Yeah.
it's hard. And I'm like in the middle for Alfred Sengun right now, but I'm pretty high that the Rocks need to do something. And we'll have our own team video or what should teams do later on, but this is just individual players for now. Um, yeah. You have anything else to say about him?
No, I mean, you've kind of hit everything on the head of the nail.
All right. Let's go on to the next player, Donovan
All right.
Mitchell. Uh, so Donovan Mitchell, I'm high on. You know, he never really had a terrible game. He shot 45% from the field
Wow.
against Detroit, which they won uh in seven. With an insane, if I'm not mistaken, 29-point uh second half for one of these games, which might have been game or is it game five against them to win. That was pretty big. He is just a really
Hmm.
consistent player. Uh, through most of these games, you know, and then when you see him have an off night, then of course they probably lose. As we're looking on the board right now, had a pretty good series against the Knicks. You know, 37.8% from three. It's not bad at all. 47.5% from the field. That's really not bad at all either. Could maybe work on his free throws. But granted, one of those games really screwed up. Everything else was fine. Um, but besides the point, they were losing that game. They're down by 13. And the Knicks are really good. So I'm really high on Donovan Mitchell. I do want him to leave because I just don't think the Cavs are that good. They're a regular season beast. You know, that's fine. But like this is the first time you ever made it to the postseason, not the postseason, the conference finals. But it didn't feel like that because they got swept, and it wasn't
hmm
like, oh, close sweep. Only close game was game one. That's it. Like, I don't know. You lost by 16 game two. You lost by 13 in game four, and then you lost by almost 40 in game four. Oh my bad. Game three you lost by 13, and you lost by almost 40 in game four. So it's like I think Donovan Mitchell's time in Cleveland should probably come to an end. I know he likes the season, not the season, the team and the city and what all they've done for him, but I feel like he's starting to end up to be like Damian Lillard of the Trailblazers. Gonna be stuck there forever. Really good player, don't get me wrong, but just probably never gonna win a ring there. You can get close, you can have good runs, but we're seeing the teams get better and better. And he's 29. He's hitting the peak of his career. He has 4 years before he starts to regress super badly. You know, um, and I think he needs to maximize his career. Obviously, for the Cavs, you want to keep him, but the Cavs probably can't if he decides to go somewhere else. The Cavs have their own problems. They need to get rid of James Harden. He's too old. They should have never done the Darius Garland trade,
Yep.
regardless of how Darius Garland
Yep.
was or how injured he was. He was a young player you could still develop, and you probably knew you weren't winning the finals this year anyways, right? Like, yeah, you have a good chance, but did you really believe you can get there and beat OKC and the Spurs? Even with James Harden, you've seen what happened to him in the past. He's a notorious playoff dropper, I think we talked about already. The other podcast is just I don't
hmm
know. Donovan Mitchell, I want you to leave. I know Cleveland wants to keep you. Cleveland, you should keep him if you can. I don't know how you're gonna do this because who's gonna want James Harden at this point, especially after what we just saw? Who's gonna? How are you gonna afford all of them? Do you just run it back? None of you guys are getting better next year. That's the thing. Y'all are not super young to where y'all can develop to be that much better to beat this really good New York team next year, and Detroit, who is probably going to get a lot better. They're all going to be a year older, all going to be uh, more mature, going to improve. It's hard. So you need to try to do something with your team. I guess you can try to keep Donovan Mitchell. If not, blow it all up. Maybe keep Evan Mobley. I'm not high on Evan Mobley at all, especially on the offensive end. We just talked about Rudy Gobert. So it's like got a lot of stuff to think about. Your number one seed last year got knocked on the first round. I don't know, CDR this year. I'm not gonna look it up, but you're a little bit higher. And then y'all get knocked out by New York in the conference finals, which I guess you made conference finals, but y'all got destroyed. And your coach Kenny Atkinson, terrible mindset, terrible mindset. You know, y'all can be mad at me all you want, but y'all got swept, analytically or not. Doesn't matter if you lose. Um, yeah, Donovan Mitchell, come to Milwaukee, be a better Dame. That's all I got. You have anything else for Donovan Mitchell?
um, um, I mean, yeah, I think, yeah, I think he just has to leave. This team is just not. This team is just not good.
How is it not
I
good? They're
mean,
just not amazing, you know, to what
no,
you'd want.
they're just. I mean, there's just really. I mean, there's kind of depth, but there's just really not. There's really just not much here. You just have. I mean, you've got Jarrett Allen, and then James Harden and Evan Mobley.
Yeah.
It's just like James Harden's getting paid 42 million next year, and he's
Oh my
fucking
god. Yeah.
yeah, he's going to 30. He's gonna be 37 next year. And it's just like this is just this is just not the right move for James with getting James Harden, and you just they kind of just dug themselves a
A
bigger
hole.
hole
Yeah.
now that they have James Harden. Now that you kind of got to just get rid of James Harden, and it's just like if because like if you want to get rid of James Harden and then Donovan Mitchell wants to leave, you kind of just this whole roster is just like Now it's just kind of just like, what is it? What is this team now? Now that you want to get rid of James Harden and Donovan Mitchell wants to leave. Um, I mean, it's just like, how do you feel about Evan Mobley? You know,
Well,
let's
that
just move on to Evan
yeah,
Mobley.
you want us to move on with Evan Mobley? Okay, so it's hard because Evan Mobley is really young. He is a defensive player of the year. Which I don't think he should have won that if I'm not mistaken over Wemby, but regardless, he is that. He's amazing defensively, very solid center, and or four, whatever you wanna put him at. But I don't feel like he impacts the game enough, or is going to be an All NBA player. On the offense, he's not the greatest. You know, he's kind of he's really good defensively, not the most amazing offensively. He can space the floor a little bit more, but man, he is not good at shooting the three ball, and it's hard. Like you can just be left open, and he'll shoot 1 for 6, 2 for 8, 1 for 4, 1 for 4 again, 1 for 4 again, 1 for 4 again. There's so many games he's 1 for 4. It's like, yeah, being able to somewhat space helps, but if you can't, it's so hard. He doesn't even average 20 points per game for being the guy. One of the guys who they need to score. You call him
Mm-hmm.
18 and 8 because that's all he ever does. Is that enough? Like, do we think he can improve enough next year? I don't know. You know, and how much is he making or going to make?
He's matching Donovan Mitchell at 50 million.
Yeah, see, that's just not good. You just can't. 50 mil for a guy who doesn't average a double double or 20 points per game is
Yep.
very hard. At least 20 points per game. At least. Right?
Yep.
And this playoffs, he was just mid. Didn't even average 18 and 8. Didn't even average 18 and 8. Um, and granted, these are two good teams, Detroit and New York, But again, you still have the juggernauts on the West, and you still have to deal with a better Detroit team next year and a New York Knicks team who will probably be coming off one of their best playoffs ever, regardless if they win or not. Again, and it's can you ever beat those guys? It doesn't matter about anyone else. It always matters about the top guys in your thing, not in your thing, in your conference. And if you cannot, then you need to either destroy your whole roster and go for picks, but you can't tank now either. So you have to be smart about it. You have to be good enough to not be bottom three, but not that good.
Mhm.
Um, or you have to trade all these guys and try to win now. The problem with this is you don't know if Donovan Mitchell is going to sign an extension. And you can't let him walk for free. You paid too much for him to walk for free. Not too much for him as a player, but too much for him to walk for free. Uh, and two, you kind of need to get better. I don't know how you get better with with four guys making like 190 mil combined. An aging James Harden who's not the same James Harden and will never be the same James Harden, and who we have seen never be that guy ever in the playoffs for any team he's been
Mhm.
on, prime or not. It's hard. Evan Mobley doesn't help it. For 50 mil, you gotta be making like at least 25 points per game. Or play amazing defense. You're fine defensively, but it's just not enough to where you can afford to not be scoring a ton. Um,
Yep.
especially for 50 mil. Hey, if you're making 20 mil, it's fine. Your numbers are fine for 20 mil. But 50, that is crazy. I didn't even know they gave you that. I thought you were at 35, but damn.
Nah, they have their contracts completely matched with
Yeah,
Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley, and it's kind of ridiculous.
it is.
It is
Yeah,
kind of ridiculous because, oh man, he's getting paid way too much, man. It's way too much. It's
yeah.
just like averaging like what, 19, 18, 18.2. and 9 rebounds. It's just, I mean, his defense is good, but like you're getting paid 50 million. The four top guys are it's combined of 110 million. It's next year, and is that's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. They
Yeah,
just they're like one of the most expensive teams in the league, and
yeah,
they they I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do. Obviously, because we don't know if Donovan Mitchell wants to leave. Um, so they just need to move James Harden, and if Donovan Mitchell does want to leave, like, what do you do from then? Like,
gotta blow it all up, man.
do you
It's not
just
worth James Harden
yeah,
being on the team still. Then, like that point, I don't even know. Like, yeah,
like, do you? I mean, would you? Yeah, you just have to just you just have to get you just have to get as much value as you can out of all of these guys.
yep,
If Donovan Mitchell wants to leave, because like if I were Donovan Mitchell, I would absolutely want to leave. Because where is this team going?
yep.
Where is this team going next year? This
Agree
team
with
is
you
going
fully.
nowhere next year, and this team is so expensive next year. And it's just like what do they do? Like there's really nothing that they can do. This team is so expensive, and it's just like oh man, like like Donovan Mitchell just has to leave.
Yeah.
Honestly, it might be best if Donovan Mitchell asks to leave because
Then
what are
the
they gonna do?
Cavs know what they can do. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
because the problem is, who wants James Harden? You know, no. Let's just get into James Harden here because he's the next guy up.
Yeah.
Who really wants James Harden? You know, his numbers
Hmm.
regressed in the Detroit series. They only dropped by three, four technically. But then in the New York series, it dropped by 8. My bad, 7.5, almost 8. But to young nitpicky guys out there, and he was never really that good in the New York series. Didn't shoot the ball the greatest, 38.9% from the field.
It's terrible in the New York City
Yep.
or New York series.
Yep. Had no was 0 from three. 17.9% from three. Free throws, fine, I guess, but didn't even get to the free throw line that often. In the game, the elimination game, he just was 2 for 8, didn't show up, only had 12 points. It wasn't assisting that much, as a guy who you want to be your point guard. Because Anna Mitchell is a two. It's he I can't.
And
It's not great.
the worst thing here is that they just attacked James Harden because that's
Yep.
all they needed to do, and it's just like you like you got
Defensive
no defense.
liability. Yep.
You got no defense, bro.
Yeah, he has
And they just
okay
attack
defense,
you.
but it's not good enough at that top level. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it was
Yeah.
just terrible. It was just not good. It was not good,
Yeah.
and it's just they, man,
I
they
should have
just
never
should have
done it.
just stuck with Darius Garland, dude.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a
but
huge
I
drop
don't
off
know.
for James Harden.
Yeah,
Even in with the
yeah.
Pistons game, the Pistons not game series, he was good. It wasn't amazing, but again, the Pistons when y'all went to 7 with them, and they weren't even that good of a team overall. Like their depth is horrible. Like, and you still didn't shoot the three ball good either, or the two. You shot 38%. You shot even worse numbers, arguably. You shot 30% from
Hmm.
two or from the field, and you did shoot better from three, but not that much better. 29.4% is pretty horrible for a guy making 40 mil. You said,
James Harden.
yeah,
Yeah, he's getting paid 42
yeah,
mil next year.
yeah. That's just too much. Um, and a liability on defense is just it has all the bad things. You can't shoot, so there's no spacing from three. Can't defend, so there's no defense. You get picked out, and you're turning 37 next year. Um,
Hmm.
and
Turning 37, getting paid 42 million.
it's hard because then what do you do? when you're the Cavs. Like, it's just I'm just not high on James Harden. We've seen him fall off in the playoffs all the time. Regular season means absolutely nothing. As I said, this is the epitome of
Yep.
regular season. The Cavs are the epitome of regular season means nothing. Last year, number one seed in the East got wiped out in the first round.
Yep.
This year, yeah, you made it to the conference finals, but it didn't feel like it. Y'all got wiped out by New York, and it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. Almost lost to Detroit anyway to not even make the conference finals. And James Harden also was a
Hmm.
non-factor in that game. Anyway, James Harden had 9 points, 2 for 10 in that win against Detroit, Game 7. So it's not like he needs to be here. He only had 6 assists, which is not great for a guy who isn't scoring a lot. I mean, it's okay, but it's Detroit. First of all, no depth, no spacing at Detroit at all. I called out for the series even happened that Detroit was going to be a fake number one seed, as I expected. And Cleveland last year was a fake number one seed. They know this. Um, James Harden got to be gone. Uh, just not worth. If you're Cleveland,
Yep.
drop James Harden, try to resign Donovan Mitchell. I don't know what you're gonna get for James Harden. I don't know if they have any of their picks, but maybe you give like 2 first-round picks, James Harden for MPJ, move Donovan Mitchell to the 1, which is a lot of people want Donovan Mitchell to be the main creator, and then maybe you look all right, that's not terrible if you can get MPJ from the Nets. It's just even that is kind of like, is that going to be enough to win the ring, or like at least get you to the finals? Because if you hit the finals, okay, then you can figure out where you're going. But if you don't even make that, it's a lot of things you gotta change. Yeah, that's all I got for James Harden and the Cavs. Anything
Yeah.
else, Aiden?
No, I think we've talked. I think we've talked. We talked a lot about the Cavs.
Yeah, I mean they do have 3 players. They are the only
Yeah.
team on here with 3 players that we have even talked about. But moving on
Yeah.
to LeBron James, the guy who people call the
LeBron
GOAT. Not
James.
my GOAT, but I call the GOAT. Um, without Luka Doncic and without Austin Reeves for almost the entirety of OKC, went to beat the Houston Rockets in 4. 3-0 lead to beat Houston Rockets in 4. In 6, I meant, not 4. Don't know why I said the 4. And then obviously you lose to the best team in the league, which is not your fault. You're a 41-year-old player on a team with no talent, really, besides the 2 guys who were injured, against arguably one of the best teams in the league, if not the best team in the league. Maybe not the best team in the league anymore, but you know what I mean. It's it's not your fault you lost that, and you played fine those games too. 50% from the field against OKC, 43% from the field against Houston. 30% from 3 against Houston, which is okay. Better percentage, 36.4% from 3 in the OKC game, our series. And he's dishing out a lot of assists. He averaged pretty good assists this offseason. And he averaged 23 points. A guy who's probably making what, 25 mil, 30 mil right now? How much is he at?
LeBron
Yes.
right now?
Yeah.
Are you? He's making 52 million this
Okay.
year.
So, yeah. Um, I'm high on him, but I think this might be his last year of his contract.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yep.
So unless you take a vet minimum, LA probably gonna have to drop you. Although I would want them to keep you. It's hard. I'm high on LeBron because he's still being able to do this. I think if he signs maybe a deal for 10 to 15 mil anywhere else, or even with the Lakers, that's where I think his value sits at, because you're only gonna get him for 1 more year, right? And you just be like,
Yep.
hey, LeBron, you're a great player and we respect you, but I can't give you 50 mil. Like, we're not gonna be able to win. And if you want to win, you can't get 50 mil. It's just simple, right? He's not averaging 25 points per game, like I said, from a guy that maybe makes 50 mil. Uh, and you're 42, right? You're gonna be 42 in the middle of next year. Not of the next season, not next year, but next season. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's, yeah, you still be geared up good, but you're gonna regress for sure slightly. Um, even if the numbers are looking better than this year, you're still going to regress somewhere because this year you're number three option. So obviously your number is going to regress a little more. Uh, but for 10 to 15 mil, LeBron is a very good player to pick up, which hopefully goes to Golden State. He accepts that. You know, they give him a good contract like that. We don't have that much money. We'd have to draft some guys, but I would gladly take LeBron over there for like 15 mil. Although I'm assuming he won't take that little money. And then I don't know. He's not worth 30 to 50 mil unless you think you're gonna win right now. Like adding him will make you win right now, which maybe it could, but I don't know. Seeing the 42-year-old LeBron on any team is gonna push him over that edge, um, for 50 mil or 40 mil. How do you feel about LeBron?
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, yeah. It's just. Well, first of all, it's will he even play next year?
True, true.
So, I mean, I think he should. I think next year should just be his final year, and
Yeah,
I think, yeah, he needs to get paid a lot less than 52 million next year. Um, yeah, around maybe like where you said, 10 to 15 million. That would be perfectly fine. On this team, I mean, I don't know. I think he would want to stay on the Lakers because I just don't think he really wants to leave LA.
yeah. See, the thing
uh,
for me is I think he could maybe go to Golden State because it's still close to LA. You know, it's kind of like a couple hours away. So it's not like you're missing out too much on your family or your home. You know, you have to buy a new house or something, or to rent out a hotel the whole year or something, or not a hotel, a house or something the whole year. It's yeah. Um,
yeah, that I get that, but it's just, honestly, I could definitely see him going to San Francisco. I think, he might honestly. He just might want to team up with Steph.
yeah, it's like
um,
his final year, he could just
yeah,
go over there, and then that's just his send off. And they can both have a good year and just go to the playoffs. Maybe not knowing that you guys are probably not going to win, but still have a good fight. Maybe get knocked out second round, third round. You know, um, you make it a third round, that'd be crazy, but something like that. Where you go and you just have a good fight for one of your last seasons, and then like he
yeah,
said, he doesn't want to play basketball anymore when he knows he can't give it his all, and that's probably gonna be next year.
yeah.
Um, and it's close to LA. His whole family's in LA. It just makes sense. I'm really high on LeBron actually because of what I've seen from him this year and in the
No,
playoffs without Luka Doncic and AR-15 or Austin Reeves. I always call him AR-15, but Austin Reeves. I know people say he wants to go to Cleveland, but I just don't see how that's gonna work unless it takes a vet minimum. Because one, how are you gonna get that much money open? They're a second apron team already. Um, like maybe if Donovan Mitchell leaves, then you can maybe then get in him with like 20 mil, 30, 25 mil, which I think he'll probably take to be in Cleveland for his hometown, his last year or years. But I don't know. Um, Lakers, I would want
yeah,
y'all to keep him, which makes sense. But yeah,
yeah. I don't see him going to Cleveland
me
at
either.
all. It's just, it's just like, why?
Yeah,
They're not. It's just they're not really gonna win it. They're not gonna really have a good chance of winning it. You'll have a better chance going to the Warriors because, man, Steph Curry.
you got Steph. You still have Draymond, who plays really good defense anyway, or still relatively good defense. Yeah, and
Yep.
then
And
yeah,
LeBron could be on the bench. Just that veteran, or I mean, he could start maybe. Maybe I don't know. It's just
yeah. I was gonna say something, but I think we'll save that for the team video. Um,
okay.
but I do want LeBron to go to the Warriors. Obviously, Warriors fan here. But in a way that hopefully makes sense. Hopefully, it takes like a bet minimum. I don't know what he'll do, but we'll see. Still really high on LeBron. Let's move on
Yeah.
to some more questionable names. Christian Braun is the next player we're going to talk about of the Denver Nuggets, who is making how much, Aiden? Which I hope you have pulled up.
Um, Christian Brown.
Yeah, or Brown.
Uh,
Yeah, Brown. Yeah, I know why I say Brown. It's spelled like Brown.
he's getting paid. Holy shit! He's jumping from 4.9 to 21 next year.
Yeah. Should be 100 mil contract, 100 mil 4 years. I think increasing every
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know why
Holy
they gave
shit.
this to him. Let me go look at last year. Last year he averaged 15 points per game, solid. 40% from three, 60% from the field. That's actually really good numbers. I can kind of see why they did because he was on his end of his rookie contract. Um, but he's not worth that much, as we can see in the playoffs. 8.3 points per game from a 25 mil guy. Doesn't really assist. Doesn't really defend the greatest. Doesn't really rebound amazingly. Gets the average rebounds for a guard. Maybe a little higher, but not that much higher. Like one more rebound than other guards. Um, yeah, it's not great. Didn't play great in the offseason.
Yep.
Lost to an injured Minnesota team in six, by the way, not a 7 game series, 6 game series, and he just was not there. He's 1 for 4 from the field in the elimination game. It's just, I don't know.
Oh my
It's hard.
goodness.
Maybe if he was making 10 mil, maybe 15 mil, 3 years. Um, but 100 mil, 21 right now, next year. And I think it goes to 23 and I think 24, if I'm not mistaken, up year by
25,
year.
but yeah.
Yeah. I'm really, really down on him. And like I said, I don't blame Denver for giving him 20 mil. He was looking like he was averaging 15 points per game on 4% from three and
Mhm.
60% from the field. Those are great numbers. I would even buy in on that. But he really showed that he's just might not be that guy going on. And because Denver is in some money troubles right now, and you want to sign Payne Watson, Christian Braun's probably gone. But
Yeah,
this showing was really bad. So
they are very fucking expensive next year. Holy shit.
yeah. So
Cause honestly, let's just move on to Jamal Murray, cause this dude is getting paid 50 million next year.
yep,
Oh my goodness.
50 mil, and he honestly had a pretty horrible playoffs. Not horrible, but from a guy who's making what 50 mil, you said?
Yeah, 50
Yeah.
million.
23.7 points per game, fine, right? But don't play the greatest defense. And your efficiency is horrible. 35.7 points per game, not points per game. 35.7 from the field, and 26.2% from three. Uh, it's just not it. Free throws, whatever. You're a great free throw shooter, very helpful. You got good assists. You're playing next to Joker, Jokic, so it's like I think some of that is inflated because you're playing next to him. Somewhat vice versa, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not that high on him. He's not a 50 mil player to me. He's more of a 30 mil.
Definitely not.
He's a 30 mil guy.
I could
Really
see him getting
good,
paid
but
40 mil, but 50 mil is just too much. It's just way too much. This roster, there's just no defense on this roster.
yeah, that's the big thing.
It's
He just
just
doesn't play defense,
zero
so it's
defense.
hard to validate anything above 30 to like 35 mil for me if you're not gonna play good defense. Um, and I already think Denver needs to put very good defensive players around Jokic. And if Jamal Murray's taking 50
Yeah.
mil, he gotta get traded. Like you need a defensive
Yeah.
guard next to Jokic if you're gonna have. You can't have
Mm-hmm.
bad defense at your one position and your 5 position. That is just like, what are you doing? Like you're not winning against Denver, not Denver, Minnesota, OKC, Spurs next year.
Yep.
If that's how you're going in, you
Yep.
are a powerhouse. You need to maximize whatever you have out of Jokic. And I'm not saying they should trade Jamal Murray, but they might have to just because he costs so much.
They're gonna have to, man.
Yeah.
Their team is so expensive next year. Their team is they're going from a 186 to a 215 next year.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, their
Y'all
team is fucking
second
expensive.
apron really kills y'all. And then
Yeah,
y'all have to
because
deal with
Aaron
Aaron
Gordon's
Gordon
getting paid.
too. Yep.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon's getting paid 11 mil more next year, and it's just yeah, this team is way too expensive. And then the Christian Brown money situation. Yeah, this is just there's just so much money here.
Yeah. I also want. I wasn't gonna do this, but we're gonna talk about Aaron Gordon real quick because you just mentioned him. And he's also
Okay,
paying. You said 11 more mil. How much is he making next year then?
he's making 33 next
Yeah.
year.
So you cannot afford 33 from Aaron Gordon. Again, 33 mil from a guy who doesn't average 20 points per game, does play okay defense, but is not the worst, and can't stay that healthy, as we've seen in the regular season, in the playoffs, and last year, and the year before that. Even he wasn't like that healthy. Like it's hard. It might be time to either to drop him because you need to maximize the value. He's still pretty high right now, but can you trust him to not be injured next year? For a guy who doesn't play the most amazing defense for a forward, he plays good defense, but it's not amazing, right? And he doesn't score a super ton. And he's making 33 mil. It's hard because you guys aren't that great defensively, and he can he even be in the court? That's the biggest thing. And if you can't be on the court, you can't be making 33 mil on the bench. That is too much to be sitting on your bench.
Yep.
That's too much to not be able to average 20 points per game. Um, it's I don't know. It's hard. Aaron Gordon is really low on me. I think they should sell him for anything they can get back. Honestly,
Yep.
because he's 30 years old. He's at his pretty
Hmm.
much prime. Do I see him getting that much better in
Hmm.
the next year or two? Not really, especially not being injury prone. Like, I don't know. He's not high on me. How you feel?
I mean, yeah, this team is just it's just there's just no young there's just no youth in this team at all. It's just straight like 25 to like fucking 30 and plus year old dudes. And it's just Aaron Gordon's 30, Jamal's going on into 30 next year. He's 29 right now. Cam Johnson's 30, Jokic is 31, Valanciunas is 34. I mean, Christian Brown is 25. These guys are like 25,
The
23, but
best guy they
there's
have
really
is Peyton Watson, who's 23
yeah.
and is really
Yeah.
promising, but they don't have the money for him. They need to drop
Yeah.
some people for him.
Yep.
And if not, he can easily sign anywhere else. A lot of people are really gonna want to buy in on Payne Watson. I wanted to buy in on Payne Watson for the Warriors. If we could somehow get him for Brandon Pozinski, it's hard, but yeah, that's who I would want to switch. I don't think Denver would do that, obviously, but yeah,
Yeah. So they gotta do something here. They have to do something here.
yeah,
I don't know what they're gonna do.
I don't know.
Because this team is just there's the defense, man. I mean,
Too bad.
Aaron Gordon. The injuries. He's a decent defender. But then Jamal Murray is no defense there. Jokic no
Yeah.
defense there. It's just I
Mm.
think yeah they just have to move on from Aaron Gordon. They probably have to move on from Jamal Murray as well.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's
But
it's
yeah,
yeah. You got like thing is like I said with the Minnesota, y'all are in the West. Y'all
hmm
are supposed to be one of the juggernauts. If do you think you can beat OKC or Spurs? If not, it doesn't matter who you are or who you have
yep,
or respect for your players or like was it loyalty. You need to trade them like now. Jokic is not getting any younger. Jokic might be already
yeah,
30. if I'm not mistaken.
Jokic's 31.
Yeah, he's
He's
31.
31.
He has maybe 2 to 3 good years left before he
Yep.
starts to regress.
So they need
Pretty
to
little
build
bit.
now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
And
if
I don't know if they can do that. Because who really wants Jamal Murray for 50 million? I don't
a
think.
lot of teams actually would. That's not bad, but it's
I know, but like, I
you
don't know,
don't want him
man.
on the Denver is the biggest thing.
Like, because like, what are you gonna give up to Denver? Is kind of the thing. To get Jamal Murray at 50 million is just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't,
It's
that's
hard just
because
because they make
50
so
million
much
is so
money.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Aaron Gordon's
problem.
easier to move, but
Because I'm sure a lot of teams would want Jamal Murray, but he's getting paid
yeah.
50 million.
Okay, so here's the thought. This came to mind. Uh
Mhm.
maybe do you think Denver is risky enough to go Jamal Murray for James Harden and picks?
James Harden and picks.
Yes. Because he's still solid, not amazing. About the same
No.
defense, right? And you get
Okay.
picks back, and he's a little bit cheaper, so you might be able to keep. If you trade Aaron Gordon, you might be able to keep Payne Watson,
Uh,
and then you can move Donovan Mitchell to the 2, or keep Donovan Mitchell at the 2. Jamal Murray goes to the 1. He'd be better than James Harden, so it works kind of for the Cavs.
we'll see. But like,
Although the Cavs don't have an extra 10 mil, so they probably have to drop somebody. But
the like, but like you, but like, I mean, okay, getting James Harden, I think they would rather have Jamal Murray.
yeah, I know. I'll
Just
be
first of all,
honest, but I
it's
just think
just
to get out of the 50 mil contract, but because James Harden thing is like a
yeah,
2-year contract or 1 year, something like that.
and I don't know if they're really not looking for value at all because they just want to win now, kind of. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, true.
they need to win
It was
in
just
like this 3 window
it was
span. But yeah, I get it.
a random ass. It was just came to my head. I'm like, hold on, their contracts are kind of close. I was gonna say Donovan Mitchell, but like the Cavs don't get nothing. Don't get any better from trading Donovan Mitchell. That's the thing. Um, so
Yeah.
it's like, why would you do that? Unless you can get
Mhm.
unless Denver, right? Unless this might work actually. Jamal Murray for Donovan Mitchell. The Cavs sign and trade Donovan Mitchell, which is how it would work. Um, and then, but Denver gives up picks back to the Cavs. So even if they don't win now, right, you still get a guard who's still good, but you get picks back, and then you have to try to figure out the James Harden situation yourself because you're gonna figure that out anyway. How does
I
that sound?
I I don't be- because it's just you're just getting a worse player, and I mean,
The Denver
uh,
is, or you mean the Cavs?
the Cavs. I mean, it's just
Well, the thing is, if you know, like, Donovan Mitchell is leaving,
well, yeah, but I don't know if you really. I don't know if
or if Donovan Mitchell
if
does want to leave, I guess that's the biggest thing.
I don't know what they're. I mean, I guess. I mean, I guess it. I don't know, man. Jamal Murray. He's 29. You know, I mean, because if they do this trade, they kind of just have to blow it all up. And if you're gonna trade Donovan Mitchell, you would want someone younger, so you can kind of just build a timeline around him and Evan Mobley, and
That makes
then
sense.
you use your draft picks because Evan Mobley's only 24
Yeah,
and Jamal Murray's
but I
29.
guess that's if they were trying to win now for the Cavs. Um,
Win now with Jamal Murray, I
I
guess.
mean, you get the young. The thing is, I think you just see how it plays out, or maybe you flip Jamal Murray, for some picks or something, because well, Well, I don't know if you can flip them actually, because that's not how trade works. But maybe later on, and I don't know because like it's hard because I just don't know what you have to do for. I don't know what either of these teams do because they're both a second apron team, and it's it's
God,
hard
no,
because
they're fucking
yeah,
expensive.
they both have huge problems. And maybe we'll just save
Yeah.
this for the team video that we'll do
Yeah,
separately.
we'll just save
So yeah, let's just move on. Um,
that.
to the next guy. Where are you on Joel Embiid and what you think the Sixers should do? Um, I don't know why I asked you that first, because usually I went first, but I feel bad for saying so much, so I'll let you go.
No, it's cool, but it's just okay. So Joel Embiid is hard because Joel Embiid is still just he's Joel Embiid, MVP. But I know he's old. All the injuries. He's going into 33 next year, and he's getting paid 58 million. So and it's the next 2 years 62 million and 67 million. It's just there's just so much money here for Joel Embiid, and um, I think they have to move on. They should move on. The process didn't work.
Yeah.
Uh, Sadly, all the injuries and whatnot, but he's getting paid way too much. 58 million for a guy who he can't really play, and that's unfortunate. Um, but I mean, he still has those stints of being that guy, that Joel Embiid MVP caliber kind of player. But it's just there's just too much risk of him having him being on the court. It's just the injuries, and it's just like you really want to just build more around your younger core, Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe, and I think they just get rid of Joel Embiid. I don't know who really wants Joel Embiid for
Yeah, I don't know how
58
they
million.
can.
So I don't
Yeah.
know what they're gonna do. I don't know how they're gonna do anything. Um, I mean, like, what do you think? Because
I
I think they
think
should just try and get rid of him.
I see as much as I want them to get rid of him, I don't think that's possible. So I think you just maximize him. Don't give him that much money. First of all, he's not worth 58 mil. He's not even worth 40 mil. He's worth max 30, 35, maybe not even. Yeah, when he's on the court, he's amazing. Arguably, he
Hmm.
didn't play too good in the New York's Knicks series, and maybe he was injured, whatever. But you're still there. You need to play good if you're there. Played great
Hmm.
their third game, but that was all he could you do. He couldn't even play 30 minutes that game. So like I said, you can't have 58 mil. You can't even have 30 mil on the bench. How are you gonna have 50 mil on the bench? But seeing that you can't probably trade him, you keep him, right, and you just hope he has a good year. Uh, I was a little bit high on him because when he did play against the Celtics, they ended up doing the 3-1 comeback, which was insane, and it might have been because of Joel Embiid. Granted, he
Yeah,
is
he
getting
was a
older.
factor.
Uh,
Yeah.
he is gonna be 33 next year. Um, when next year playoffs roll around, he will be 33. Uh, but because you can't trade him, it's really hard to do too much on him. I'm just like okay with him right now because, like I said, when he's on the court, he is one of the best players. Nothing wrong. Nothing is wrong with how he plays, or what he does, or what or his basketball side. It's just can he be there? And obviously, it does not fit the timeline of Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe at all.
Hmm.
And they have no depths, and he takes up a lot of money, so you need to try to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I don't know how
The,
you do that because he makes so much and he's so injury prone, and
I think
probably nobody's
I
gonna get
think
him.
that I think they're just I think this team is just they're just constricted. They can't do
Yeah.
anything. We can move on. We can move on to the next
Yes.
guy, Paul
This
George.
this is where I was gonna
54
say.
million.
I'll
Paul
let you
George
talk
getting
this
paid
out.
54 million. I mean, it's because like he's 36, getting paid 54 million. Like what the hell? Like no one's gonna want Paul George. No one wants Paul George for 56 million or 54 million. I don't know what. I don't know what you do here. I don't know what you do here at all. It's just like Paul George is not the same at all. You know, he's fucking old. He's on. You know, all the injuries that he had to go through. You know, it's very sad. Very unfortunate. But
Yeah.
man, it 54 million, and then Joel Embiid's getting paid 58, and Tyrese Maxey getting paid 40 million next year. It is just
So
I
much
don't know
money.
what they do. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's just zero depth here. There's
Yeah.
just you know
So I would say there's more market for Paul George than there is Joe Embiid. Um, reason
for
being,
54 million.
well, for me, the reason being is Joel Embiid's even more expensive, way more injury prone, and he's a center, which center is a very important position to me. Arguably the number one, number two most important position on the court. Um, and we're seeing that in almost every top team now. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so it's harder to want Joel Embiid. Um, Paul George, I'm also really low on. Um, he shot terribly his last game. You know,
Yeah.
shot terribly. A lot of the other
All right.
games, 6 of 18 is not good. 6 of 11, solid. 7 of 18, not great. 3 of 7, eh. But it's an elimination game. You're only taking 7 shots. Only had 7 points. You know, and he's not a 20-point scorer no more. As much as people like Paul George, respect to the OG, but if you want to win, you need to win. And he's not going to help you win at 50 mil. You're only as good as where your contract is. That's the biggest thing. If he's making 10, 15 mil, fine. He's amazing 10, 15 mil
Mm-hmm.
player, you know? But a guy who's taking 18 of your shots, not even averaging 20 points, really hard. Really hard. Doesn't get to the free throw line often. So that's the thing. If you can't get to the free throw line and you're taking that many shots, you better be making them. And he wasn't. And for the Sixers, you have to try to get rid of Paul George. You have to try to get rid of Joel Embiid because the reason why I was saying because you can't get rid of Joel Embiid, you try to get rid of Paul George for anything, legit, almost anything of some value, whether it's picks or young players, whatever you can get, so you can maximize VJ
I don't
Edgecomb's
know what
futures
team's gonna take
and
his
Tyrese
contract though
Maxey. I have no idea
for
either. I'm
54
gonna be
million.
honest.
Like
Maybe he goes
like
back to the Clippers or something, or to the
this
Clippers.
team, this team, they only have 4 players above 10 million, and it's
Damn.
just those 4 guys.
Yeah.
Maxi, Edgecombe, PG, and MB. Like
Edgecombe was making.
this is ridiculous. Edgecomb's making 11, and everyone else is just below
Yeah.
that 8 million and
Yeah.
3. This is just ridiculous. Like Paul George's contract is just ridiculous. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody
Um.
wants that. I don't think they even have the space for that. I mean, again, like if he was 10 million, that'd be great.
Yeah.
He's a good, solid, decent player, kind of. But for 54 million, that's ridiculous. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah. Like I said, try to get rid of Paul George, maximize it. I don't know why y'all give up Jeremy McCain for something. Y'all should have tried to pair Jeremy McCain and Paul George
Hmm.
together somehow. And I don't know. That probably would have been your best bet. But Daryl Morey, there's a reason you got fired, man. You're just not a good GM or president, whatever he was, or he had in these talks. There's a reason you got fired. These are awful. What are these contracts? You have injury prone Joel Embiid, 54 mil. Injury prone Paul George, 50 mil. It's like he's not that injury prone, but he's still not the healthiest either, and he's 36. And you have Tyrese Maxey, who's young, and that you want to you got lucky on. Like they do draft kind of well, but everything else was just not there. Contracts not there. Building not there. Like they have no depth, and that's part of the reason was because Paul George and Joel Embiid took so much money. You can't really build. And you don't have no money, so
Yeah.
it makes sense. As much as I did want to see him do good, because I just wanted VJ Edgecombe to do good, it's hard with Paul George in the team. I don't know. I'm not high on
Yep.
Paul George either. I was never high on Paul George. I had a lot of hype back then. Not hype. I had a lot of my buddies who talked about it. I wasn't really into the basketball sphere at that time, but I just never thought he was worth
Mhm.
that. Um, especially as we've seen when they traded everything to OKC, and that was just
Yep.
horrible, absolutely horrible. One of
Yep.
the worst trade of all time, straight up.
Yep.
But you live and you learn, and now you need to learn. Get rid of them. That's all I can say. Respect to the OG, but yeah. So you got for Paul George?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. On to one I'm heavy on.
Paolo Banchero. He man, you're getting paid 41 million next year. Um, and he's just, in the playoffs, he actually wasn't that bad. He was actually pretty decent. He obviously had some stinkers, but he I mean I think it was the elimination game. He really tried. And they just, he did decent, but the problem with him is he can't really get his team involved, and the rest of his team they really couldn't finish, and they lost. And problem with Paulo Banchero is he's just, I don't know, we've been over this over and over again. 3-point shooting, shot selection, the off ball threat is just, there's just nothing there, and it's just, what do they do from here? He's getting paid 41 million next year. Franz is getting paid 41 million next year. Do you just run it back? Like, I don't think they should. Should they trade him? I don't know, because like this he's it's just, he's getting there. It's expensive. Oh my goodness, they are 222 million next year. That is
Holy.
ridiculous.
Oh my god. Yeah, I did not know
Yeah,
they're that high.
Desmond Bain is getting paid 39 next year. Jalen Suggs is getting paid 32. Powell's getting paid 41, and
Jalen
then
Suggs is
yeah,
getting paid 32? Oh my god.
yeah,
Though that'll be in the team field. We're talking about him. But yeah, I agree with you fully. And we, like I said, we talked about this before already on the podcast, out of the podcast. He's just he's good, but he's not that good. Aiden was looking for a big leap. A lot of people were looking for a big leap. Didn't
Yeah.
leap at all. Fine
no,
inside, but he has really bad shot selection. Is like a 70 at from three. 70 rated on at three. Um, only shot 32% from three this season. Not this season. This playoffs, which isn't bad, but you see when he doesn't have a good night, they lose. Obviously, like when your star player doesn't have a good night, obviously you lose. But even
hmm
when they had a good night, they still lost. And he averages 3.5 turnovers per game in this offseason.
yep,
And he's not a point
yep,
guard. So
yep.
it's kind of hard. Like, obviously, he handles the ball a lot. He does have a lot of assists, but in the playoffs, it's just, I don't know if it's worth to keep for Orlando in my eyes, just because I don't see him becoming some Donovan Mitchell. Well, no, that's not a good comparison. Who's a forward I can compare him to? I can't. I
I really
can't
have
even.
no idea,
I can't even think of a name. But
because he's more just an athletic,
big,
kind
yeah,
of Braun type.
yeah. But he's not LeBron. You know.
Yeah,
Um, the biggest thing is he just cannot space the floor. Um,
yep.
he can kind of, but it's not great. He hasn't really worked on his game from the three at all. Maybe if he works on the three and y'all really have a 3-point set for him, or 3-point training schedule set for him, then maybe. He's terrible from the free throw line. Like, wow, he was terrible. 67% from the free throw line. Oh my god, that is not great. It for a guy who shoots middies and drives to the basket more than anything. Um, you should be making more free throws. You cannot be doing that
hmm
and not making free throws. That's free points for your
hmm
team. He was not efficient really. He was okay efficient. 42% is not bad, but a lot of the games he was 20% from field goal percentage, 22%, 35%. You know, really bad in those three games. Granted, they did win two of them, but I just don't see the Magic like succeeding with them. And I've never been high on Paulo. And it does make me think, okay, 45 points, 38 points in elimination, 25 points game. Okay, maybe we can keep him, but his shot selection is just horrid. Watching some of these games, it was just horrid. I didn't even want to. I yell a lot at the Spurs for taking their threes, but at least they make them, relatively. And they have good three-point shooters and stuff, and it's just his looks are just damn,
Yeah,
a good mid-range
so
game
bad.
is really helpful, but it's the most inefficient shot in the league, and he's not.
His mid range is just
Yeah, it's just not amazing.
yeah. The shot selection is just not good. It's
Yeah,
just not good. And
yeah,
we've been over this a lot, so
yeah. Aiden's getting pissed because he does like the Magic, and I like the Magic because their songs
I just
cool as hell.
I just wish he just took that jump. I mean, maybe he could do it next year because he's only 23.
Yeah,
I just really wish he got better.
sooner.
But
Yeah, yeah.
it's
Yeah. In my eyes,
yeah, it's
I think you trade Paulo at his peak, build around Franz. Franz was the best defensive player on the team for Orlando. Points, plus minus wise, with defense, his rating and all that. And we see when he went out, they proceeded to choke a 3-1 lead. One of the few 3-1 lead chokes ever. Yeah, without him too. So it's not like if you're Orlando, you can complain about anything else. Even if you say it's a coach fault, which they got a new coach who I think is really good. He might be I forgot if it was the Spurs backup coach or one of the assistants is now their coach, something like that. I think I could be wrong. But you can't blame a coach on choking a 3-1 lead, like regardless. Like I don't know. The fact he did choke a 3-1 lead, um,
yep.
obviously it's not only his fault, but he did have a really bad game 7 or game 6. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I'm not the highest on Paulo. Still think they should trade him, but that's just my thing. Did you have anything else to say, or
No, we can just move on.
okay? Move on to Brandon Ingram, 28-year-old Brandon Ingram. So they got knocked out in the first round against Cleveland. Oh, my bad. I'll let you intro. I don't know why I'm talking. Yeah, you go
No,
ahead.
you got it. I mean,
No, I'll let you do all these because I want to hear your side first. Because you got to hear my side first. So the other ones, I want to hear you first so I can see where you're at.
okay. Okay, well, with BI, I mean, he, the off season, okay. So in the playoffs, he, well, from what I remembered, he really wasn't much of a factor in some of these games that I at least remember. It was more of just it's more of just Scotty Barnes, 'cause-
Yeah.
and and the thing is, just like I don't I don't know because Brandon Ingram's getting paid 4 million next year
4 mil.
and 40 million.
Oh my
40
god,
million.
I was hoping he was paid
Yeah.
4 mil. I would have changed my entire outlook on him. But okay, 40 mil. Damn. Yeah, keep
Yeah,
going.
and it's just there was just not really a presence from BI. If I look at this Cavs series, oh my gosh, 6 for 23,
Yeah.
and 8 for 9 for
Yeah.
free throws. Yeah, that is just yeah. It is just I don't know. Like I don't know, cause I like BI.
Me too.
That's it's I don't know. It's just um. Let me look at his. What does he average in the regular season?
21.5 points per game.
One.
5.6 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 47.7% from the field.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But playoffs, he really, yeah, he really stunk. He really stunk.
Yeah. Um, if you're gonna be a playoff team, You gotta be better than this. Or playoff player. I remember watching Numbers on the Board podcast every single time. I watch every one of their podcasts. And I watched not all of these games. I watched maybe half of them. And I kept remembering Pierre was like, after game one, VI had a okay game and they lost. And he was like, just waiting for him to have a better one. Next game, 3-15. He's like, nah, it's all right. You know, they didn't. They were close. He just wait until he kept saying like wait until Bi has that breakout game.
Yep.
Game three, only 12 points, 5 for 9. Wasn't taking. I don't know why he was afraid to take shots or something, or he just didn't want to. I don't know. And then game five, uh, 6 of 23, started taking shots. Was horrid. You know, he lucky he got the free throws, or he wouldn't have even got above 20. You know, wouldn't even have got above 15 without the free throws. And then game five, you see, or game six. Oh, not game five. Did I get their name? Okay, last one was game four. My bad. Game five, he only had 1 point, 0 for 2, and all I was hearing from Peter was, "Oh, wait until Bi has a good game," and then after he's like, "Yeah, Bi just was not a factor. Did not have a good series," and you know, it's only a 5 game sample size, but and he is 28, so he's still pretty young, but it's hard for the Raptors to give him that much money if he doesn't even average, again, like I said, a 25 point per game season in the regular season, and then you only average 12 points per game in the playoffs against a team
Yep.
who did go to the conference finals, but they got swept. So that just shows you how far behind you are
Yep.
at the Raptors. And you know, they didn't expect to win a ring this year, of course. But
Mhm.
I think if you want to build, I don't know if Bi is your guy. Yeah, it's hard because this team is good, but I just think you need to try to build better around Scotty Barnes. And
Yep.
I'm not high on Brandon Ingram anymore. His stock is super low for me after this playoffs. Like this is really disappointing. Um, he didn't average no rebounds, average no assists pretty much, and average 12 points per game on terrible numbers besides from three. But
Yep.
you only really didn't shoot that many threes, so that didn't really count. Um, yeah, I'm just really low on
Yeah,
him as well.
he was just a non-factor.
Yeah,
I mean, his running mate, fucking Scotty Barnes, fucking like doubled his points, averaged double his points,
yeah,
and it's just like what? Come on, he's just he's just a non-factor. Like, what are we doing?
yep.
You know,
Can't have a non-factor for 40 mil. You know.
I like Bi, bro. The notorious Bi3, bro.
Yep.
Like I like
Cool ass
Brandon Ingram,
nickname.
but yeah. But it's just, I don't know. I don't know what they do here with Bi. He's getting, I mean, 40 million is just ridiculous. Scotty Barnes getting paid 41 million. It's just, I don't know. I think, because I don't know. Like, I don't know what this team does from here. I don't really know what this team does from
I
here.
don't know either. Maybe you just see it
Um,
forward, but I don't know.
I think they just have to kind of just see it forward. I mean, they have a lot of young guys, so but I don't
That's the
know.
thing. So it's like
Yeah.
maybe they could all be better next year, but I don't know. Bi's getting older. He's only 28, which is not that old, but
Yeah.
I just don't. It just wasn't a good showing, you know.
Yeah, and you
And
kind
it
of
was
just
spotty.
they
Yeah.
just
Hold on.
they want to capitalize on.
Knocking my door. Okay. Go ahead.
I was just saying you kind of just want to prioritize these years that you have with Scotty Barnes. I know he's only 24, but I mean you gotta try something. And I don't know. I mean, I guess they just kind of I guess they kind of just see where it goes from here.
Yeah, I mean they could make some
Um,
moves, but I just don't know if it's gonna push the needle too much. It's just
yeah,
yeah, it's more not making the moves. It's just me being low on Brandon Ingram for this
yeah,
playoffs. That's
yeah.
just a stock for me. But all right. On to Jalen Brown. All right, go ahead.
Man. Jaylen Brown. Um, Okay. So with Jalen Brown, I mean, Jalen Brown is still just Jalen Brown. This year of the playoffs, I don't know. It's not really. I don't think it's really anyone's fault as to why they lost, other than maybe coaching. Um, I just um, I think because they kind of just have to. Man, they're like I don't. Because everyone is saying they should trade Jalen Brown, and I don't really know if they should.
Me either. Yeah.
Because but it's really the thing is that the tension between him and the team. But I just don't think he should. But the loss was the the 3-1 loss is just it's
Such a
just
downer.
so like it's just like yeah, it's just like I don't know. Obviously it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Um, I it it's just I don't know. I don't really know what went wrong other than coaching. It's just like
I mean,
from for here.
to be fair, he
Go
didn't play
ahead.
the greatest in those last few games. He played alright, but definitely needed to play better for his team to just get over the edge. Even before Tatum was out for Game 7, he should definitely play better. Game 6 and Game 5. But still, for me at least, I'm still high on him. Right, he's still one of
Hmm.
the best players in the league. I don't think you should trade him, regardless of the controversy. Although he might want to leave, but I doubt. Um, so yeah, I still think he's just perfectly fine. I'm high on him, and that was more of what I was kind of asking you. Is like where how like based on this playoffs, are you high on him or not? I'm still high on him. Not like other people who are low, maybe thinking they can't make it with them, but I still think they can do perfectly fine with a better roster, um, built around him and not Jalen and Jason Tatum. Next year, I think it could be a lot better, and I'm still pretty high on him. As you said, it's not his fault why they lost. Really, it's part of his fault, but it's I don't know. And I said with 3-1 leads, it's not always the coach's fault, so it's definitely someone's fault. And you know, Celtics really weren't that talented. No one expected them to be number 2 seed this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And like it's supposed to be a down year without Jason Tatum the whole time. Um, so yeah, I'm not high, I'm not low on him. I'm just I don't know. Yeah, I'm high. I'm high, honestly, or average, I guess. A little higher than normal. Um, yeah.
Um,
This. What were you gonna say?
I don't know, man. I just I'm not I'm not too high on him. It's just I mean, yeah, Jalen Brown he's a great player. MVP caliber kind of player, but it's just the team thing. Like, does he really want
Yeah,
to be there? And that's for me the problem that I have with him and his stock, or I don't know, at least with this team, not as a player wise, but
that makes sense.
um, yeah. I mean, he's getting paid 57 million. This team is, I mean, Jason Tatum's getting paid 58 million. It's kind of expensive, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think they're fine. I just think it's like I said, a team situation. That's the only thing. Like, well, as a player and how he performed, I think he was perfectly fine. I think people might be overreacting too much on the tension. It definitely
Yeah.
is there. And there's some stuff that they probably have to deal with in the background that we'll probably never know about. Whether until he either leaves or someone leaks it, but I doubt that's happening. So yeah, I think they're fine where they're at. The only thing we're gonna have to build a little better around them. 'Cause I think that's like the only problem. Maybe another better center. And they don't really have the greatest center depth or
Hmm.
center. Uh, yeah. Let's move on to the next. Jalen Johnson. Go ahead.
Oh man, Jalen Johnson. This one is just. I mean, like we said before. At least what you said. And numbers on the board. He just really didn't feel like he had much impact
Yeah.
on the floor, and it's just. Man, like it's just. Let's see what did he. Yeah, let me check his game logs.
He averaged 19.5 points per game in the playoffs, 5.2 assists, and 7.7 rebounds. Uh,
Yeah, you just. I mean, these aren't bad numbers, but this is just not what you expect from your guy that you kind of just that you need in these moments and situations. It is, but it's just like yeah, cool. You're averaging 20 points, but it's just like you're supposed to be the guy, man. You know, it's just I don't know. Like this is just I don't know. It's just my stock on him is just it's kind of it's kind of in the middle because
Still only 24.
he's
Yeah.
still yeah he's still young, so it's just I and he's only getting paid 30 million, so it's just like I mean it's fine. I really don't care. He kind of just next season I don't know. I think he kind of just needs to maybe work on his maybe on his offensive capabilities, be more of a factor on the offense maybe or something.
Yeah.
Because he can't just be averaging around 20 some points and going out there and you're just getting blown out by fucking 50. Like I don't know.
Yeah. I think that was also crazy, by the way. That 50-point loss. 51-point loss. I agree with you completely. And like you said, I already told you then, and you said like the numbers of board guys. He just didn't feel like he was a factor, really. Like he played fine. Don't get me wrong, he played fine. I'm
No.
like I liked him. I want him to do better, but your starlight was taken away from CJ McCollum. Come on, man. Like really? That's the guy who outplayed you in the postseason, right? Like your numbers are fine for a number two, number three option, right? But you're supposed to be number one,
Mhm.
like we said, right? Not
Mhm.
Nikhil Alexander Walker, not CJ McCollum. You're supposed to be the number one option, and
Mhm.
you didn't even average 8 assists throughout the playoffs. It wasn't like, oh, you're still getting points, but you're helping the offense a ton with your assists. You only got 5.5 assists during this game. You're not really the greatest defender. You're fine, right, defensively, but it's not like you're making that much of an impact. So it has to be a little bit better. It was a little bit disappointing. I did have them beating the Knicks in the playoffs for my prediction because I thought Jalen Johnson would play better. Um,
Mhm.
he averaged almost a triple double in the regular season, and this is where I say, and we said I'm gonna keep on saying throughout this video, and in the future, playoffs is where things really matter, and he did not get close to a triple double in the off season. I was hoping he was a bigger factor, and it just didn't feel like he was. He, like I said, still played fine. I'm not that
Mhm.
low on him. I'm just more disappointed at how it was.
Mhm.
Granted, he is young, so I hope he does better next year. I think the Hawks could potentially be another playoff team next year, depending on their moves.
Mhm.
And that is a really good sign. And I hope Jalen Johnson gets better next year. He actually is probably going to be one of my prospects who I think will become like an all-star next year. But we will see on how that develops.
Mhm.
Hot take right there. Um, but yeah, like I said, it's like and just like Aiden said, it's not like we're really low on him. It's just we're more
Yeah.
disappointed at how he wasn't really a big factor in any of these games.
No.
I would say he needs to work on his three ball. He shot fine, but 29%
Mhm.
from the three is really bad. Um, on 5 attempts or more from the your field goals per attempted per game is fine. 15 is fine. If you're gonna be number one option, you might need to bump that up to at least 18, 20. Yeah, and if you're not going to be, then maybe get your 3-point shooting a little better and get your assist up It's one of the two. If you're not a scoring, you gotta assist or defend, and if you're not defending or assisting, you gotta be at least a shooter. And he was not really a shooter. That's the only thing I see him want to get better on. But honestly, stock just slightly low, but I can see him improving, and hopefully he does. And that's all I got for Jalen Johnson. The Hawks' future does look pretty nice though.
Yeah.
Yeah. On to a guy that I think they should move away from. Dyson Daniels. Go ahead, Aiden.
All right. The Great Barrier Thief, the Australian,
Such
Dyson
a cool ass
Daniels.
name. Such a cool ass name. Oh my god. Go ahead.
This, I love defensive players. Man, I just love defensive players. Man, the first 4 games first 4 games against the Knicks, he was averaging 2.5 steals. But then what I love more than fucking defensive players, two-way players. This guy
too.
stinks on the offense. This guy sucks. 4, 6, 8, 6, 17, but you got blown out. And then 3 points because they only had him in for 15 minutes. This guy sucks on offense.
Yeah.
I don't, man. I really like Dyson Daniels. Just man, I just the defense and the steals is just last. I don't know who's leading this year, but like last year, he led the league with 3 steals a game, which is crazy.
Crazy. That is actually insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Dyson Daniels, man, you're getting paid 25 million next year. You're getting paid 5 million less than Jalen Johnson, and I don't know, man. There's just nothing here. There's just it's just. I mean, your defense is great, but like, man, you need to work on the offense because like this just stinks. This just stinks. 4, 6, 8, 6, 17, 3. Like, I don't know. I am. I am. I guess I'm low on Dyson Daniels, but I don't know. I mean, should they really move from Dyson Daniels? Maybe, because Dyson Daniels, I feel like would be such a great player on a different team, but on the Hawks, it's just like you're really not looking. You just need that offense. But if a different team, Dyson Daniels would be great because he'd just be that sneaky defensive player who can just get a steal. But on this team, it's just like no, they need that offensive presence, and there's just zero offensive presence here at from fucking Dyson Daniels. I don't know. I don't know. It's just I. It's just they should they move on from him? Probably. Um, will they move on from him? Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still only 23. He's still young. So
I
I don't know.
definitely agree with you on all of that. Like you said, like I like two-way players. I'm always big on two-way players. Like with the MVP conversation and all that. You know that already. You like two-way players. But when you're only a one-way player and it's just defense, that's one of the worst players you can be. Um, Especially when you're not even like a mid 15 points, 14 points per game um, guy consistently. Uh, so it's like you're just almost a non-factor. And when you have zero spacing,
Yeah.
he is absolutely horrible
Yeah.
from three. If I'm not mistaken, there was I think like a gap of his last like 30 taking 3-point attempts, and he was like 0 for 30 for like 4 weeks or something. Um, from three, and the difference between him and a guy like Drew Holiday or even just Rudy Gobert is I'm not even high on Rudy Gobert either. Is that like he's good at stealing. He's not the most amazing defender, right? Where Drew Holiday
Yep.
is an insane defender, a champion. As you've seen, he has like 3 rings. Rudy Gobert is defensive player of the year. That's was fine on defense, but not enough to where not even averaging 10 points or 8 points per game in the postseason as a starter, right? As a starter, it's just not that's not acceptable. You just can't. Um, and you just don't space the floor like
Hmm.
Drew Holiday can or any of these other guys who can. Like as a backup player, you'll be fine, but as a starter, excuse me, no. Jose Alvarado is so good for the Knicks because he's a backup player. He is really
Yeah.
good at steals too. Grand Theft Alvarado, a cool nickname too. And that's fine if he doesn't score a lot of points. He is there for defense off the bench. And Dyson Daniels to
Yep.
me is feel like as he gets older, he's gonna become a bench player that is
Yep.
just really good bench player, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But as a starter, you need to be better. He has to be better. He has to be scoring
Yeah.
better. You got to average at least 10 shots per game. Um, like something, and obviously maybe that's not your job, but a non-factor on the offense and you provide zero spacing, you can't be
Yeah.
making 20 mil
He
as a
missed
starter.
22 consecutive threes.
That's what it was. Yeah. And
That's
honestly,
terrible.
I don't know how you're that bad. Like genuinely, like that's he doesn't even look at the rim when he's on that perimeter, and that just makes your team have to struggle so much more. And this is where I think you sell right now before he gets any lower, because if he doesn't work on his 3-point game or his mid-range game, like mid-range he's okay, not even amazing, and 3-point he's awful. Probably one of the worst, if not the worst, starting player to from three. Like my bad, he is the worst starting player from three, right? I'm calling that right now. Y'all can say, oh, there's another guy. I don't care. I'm
Yeah.
saying he's the worst.
I think he's averaging like 18% from three.
Yeah, it's not good. Um, if you provide no spacing and no points, it's hard to have you on the starting lineup. Backup player for 10 mil, fine. Starter for 21, you said? Um, not good.
Wait, what?
How much mil? He's making 21 mil, right? Right?
Next year he's making 25.
Okay, 20. Yeah, wow. Okay, first off, 25
Oh.
is a lot for a guy who can't shoot threes, who isn't the greatest
He will
offensive
be the
player.
second highest paid player on this team.
Wow. Yeah. No. No. Yeah, they definitely should move from him. I think because his market's still good, you can get something in value back, whether it's picks, whether it's another young player or just a better player. Um, something. I just don't see
Hmm.
Dyson Daniels being too good or worth here. Yeah, that's all I really got. My stock for him is probably, my bad, not probably. It is low. It is
Yeah.
disappointing. Didn't even average 10 points per game. Didn't even average 10 points per game. Dropped your average by 4.3 or 4.6, almost 5 points per game in the playoffs, which is just invaluable if you're not scoring 20 points at least in the regular season. Help your team. So yeah. And then on to big, big names. Probably should have done in the beginning. Unfortunately, I had to write at the bottom of my list. Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams. I think we start with Jalen Williams first.
You want to start with Dub?
Yeah, we'll start with Dub. Start with J Dub. I don't know why I'm saying this whole name. I think I'm the government or something. Yeah, go ahead.
Um, man, he, I, what's going on with him and all his injuries, man? He just cannot play, and yeah, that's a big problem. Like you said, he's gonna be getting paid 41 million next year, and
Yeah.
if he's gonna get, if he stays injury prone and he just can't play, like, it's just, it's just, man, it's just not gonna go good. Obviously, maybe he won't be have so many injuries next year, but you can't really tell. But even when he did play, was all right. But I feel like he really wasn't. There really wasn't a presence there for me, at least.
Yeah, I
When
agree.
watching him when he was in the games, and when he wasn't there, you kind of just don't really notice that he's not really there at all, because he just, from what we've seen, he can't really play, and it's just when he does play, or at least when he's comes back from injuries, it's just there's really nothing there that that J-Dub really brings, and I think they should just I don't know, because everyone is saying that they should just move away from J-Dub, and I kind of flip flop back between because I like J-Dub, but then also I don't know, because I'm kind of in the middle, torn between J-Dub. I'm kind of just I'm on the lower side, um, because all just the injuries, so I really don't know if they really should move away from him. Because man, they are getting paid a lot next year.
Yeah,
So
I think they're second air team now.
yeah, so my stocks are low on him.
Yeah,
But what are your thoughts on J-Dub?
I
Jub?
think I really do also like not really, but I do like Jalen Williams. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because one, he doesn't really foul bait at all. Like I've never really seen any clips. I don't see him trying to really foul bait, and that makes me like him more. And he's a
Yeah.
pretty good two-way player. We're all here for two-way players. He's pretty good defensively, not amazing, but pretty good. Um,
No.
and he's good offensively. Yeah, the game one against Sacramento, um, Jalen Williams had like 26 points, 11 for 15. Was okay from three, made 1 3 of his three, and it was pretty good. I think he definitely had an effect, and I think it did affect the OKC. Not in the fact that Jalen Williams was going to change everything for him, or it really changes anything for the team, overall, I think it's more of he brings that consistency you need for scoring. And then without
Right.
him, right? You see the 4 points, 7 minutes, 10 points, only one, or not 10 points, 10 minutes, 1 point, in game 6 and game 2. He was injured for both of those, so he wasn't really a
Mm-hmm.
factor in either one. So I can't blame him for those. The thing is OKC just needed that consistency maybe from J Dub, and that's what he does bring to the team in my eyes. Whether or not they do need him, because they were still pretty good without him throughout most of the regular season, which he was injured pretty much this entire season, or at least still dealing with injuries, which is unfortunate for OKC. But I think my stock, honestly, to me, it's high for player because he did good in the Suns game. He was really efficient. If you look at his finishing numbers for games he played more than 25 minutes, or 20 minutes, 61% in the Phoenix series, and then 44% in San Antonio, the game one, and then he was just injured for the rest. So I'm really not that down on him at all. He averaged a steal in the Spurs game. 2 steals in 7 minutes is great. When he was injured, for game two. So I'm high on him as a player. Injuries is where I would definitely drop him a little lower, because it seems like he has been dealing with his injury ever since he got injured last year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, can he
It's
ever
been a
be the
year.
same? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can he ever be the same? I don't know, but I'd be fine. I'd take him on the Bucks or the Warriors, but I don't know if they would do that. But the thing for OKC, and that we'll definitely talk more about in the team video, is that they're a second different team. You just said that. I think you
Yeah.
did, at least on for
He's
record.
getting paid 41 million, and
Yeah.
that's kind of my thing. Is like, yeah, I like Jalen Williams, and obviously, I think he did fine, but it's just you're getting paid way too much, and you can't really play. But also, like, this team can kind of perform without you,
Yep.
kind of. It's so, do they really need you? So it's not really, for me, it's not really player stock, but like what you are to this team, kind of.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a little down because I don't know. A lot of people are saying that they should just trade him. I don't really think they should, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, okay. I did. I'm not gonna lie. Before the season started, not season. Before Game 7,
Hmm.
I was kind of understanding why they would want to trade Jalen Williams. Um,
Yep.
because like you brought the Spurs to Game 7 without him, pretty much.
Hmm.
You brought
Yep.
uh the team to number 1 seed pretty much without him.
Yep.
And if you can trade him, which is a trade that I actually would be somewhat okay with, although I don't like OKC, because just there's their foul bait and everything, whatever. Was Jalen Williams to the Bucks for picks, for picks, and the Bucks give up Giannis. And I would not be mad at that because I would kind of like to have J Dub on the Bucks. You know, like I said,
I did that trade in 2K.
no way. Oh my god. Hey, see, hey, you see it too. You know, I'd be fine with that. But now, let's just get into Chet Holmgren. We'll
No.
see why I don't know if that's a good idea anymore. You can go ahead.
Was Chet Holmgren a part of the package? Is that why? Or
Not with J Dub, but
no?
go ahead and
Oh, okay.
let's talk
Well,
about Chet Holmgren for a bit, and I'll get to mine after.
Chet, man, that that Chet. Okay, Chet's getting paid. How much? He's getting paid 41 million next year too. And Chet just stunk. Chet just stunk, man. He was not good, especially against San Antonio. It's just he averaged like 10 or yeah he averaged 10.7 points against San Antonio. And
Yeah.
he just was not really a factor in the San Antonio series, which is just you need him to be a factor in this series, especially going up against Wemby. It's just like,
Unacceptable.
man,
That's
what? Yeah,
that's the word.
Wemby just like, just scared him. I don't know. He he had he had 4 points in the elimination game. He had two shots, two field goal attempts, and it's just like, and he made one only. He had four free throws attempts, and he made two, and it's just like, this is not what you want from second, third option on your team on the championship uh winning team. Like you want more out of this, and you just especially a big game like this and a big series against San Antonio and against one of the greatest players in the world right now, Victor Wembanyama, and
Maybe
you
all
just
time,
stink.
but yeah.
Yeah. You just stink, and you just freeze up or something. I don't know. He just was not the same player out there as he kind of usually is, and it's just like, yeah, stocks is down. Like you like
Very down.
you yeah, you like this. You're getting paid 41 million next year. You're getting paid more than Shea next year. You and J Dub are getting paid more than Shea next year. Shay's getting paid 40.8 million next year,
Yeah,
and you're
and
getting paid 41.
I think Shea took a pay cut for y'all. So yeah, I agree with you completely. I
Mm-hmm.
if you guys watched our other podcast of our recap of Game 7, um, should be coming out soon. Should be, or it might be out already. Forget exactly. Regardless of the fact, Chet in this series was a non-factor. Instead, absolute zero on offense. He had one game where he got 10 field goal attempts. Every other game was below that. There was only one game with a 9 field goal attempted. And you're thinking maybe this is like the backup center, but he's the starting center for $40 million on a championship team, the reigning champion.
Not really center. He's a forward.
Whatever. The reigning champion, 4 or 5, whatever you want to say he is or he wants to be. And you are versing arguably one of the greatest players of who ever touched the basketball, in Wemby, who's your rival that everyone is making up to be, whether you believe it or not. You sit there in fear of him. You don't even take any threes either, right? In his last series, he took 3.3 3-point attempts per game. The series before that, he took 4.5. This series, he took 1.6. It's not like
Mhm.
Wemby's the greatest perimeter defender ever. And he's not taking any threes on a San Antonio team who's young and not the biggest. They really don't have any size in San Antonio. Outside of Wemby and Luke Cornett, everyone else is kind of like iffy, a little lower on the lower end, honestly. So you not taking any threes or any shots is so disappointing. And I don't even like you, but it's so disappointing just from a player aspect.
Mhm.
And it's like, I don't hate him either, by the way. But it's like, where are you? Defensively, you were fine. You're arguably good. But you were good defensively. It's just everything else. You're not playmaking. You're not scoring. What is the point of you being on the court? To grab rebounds? What are you, Mitchell Robinson? And Mitchell Robinson's a great player, don't get me wrong, but he comes off the bench for not 40 mil. Right?
Mhm.
Very disappointing. And this is where
Mhm.
now I think the Bucks trade instead of J Dub would probably be Chet Holmgren instead of J Dub. And I
Oh,
wouldn't take that.
really?
And I wouldn't take that from the Bucks perspective. I don't want Chet Holmgren.
In my 2K simulation, I just got no picks and I just took Chet and J
Oh
Dub.
damn, that's crazy. I don't think that's realistic at all. But granted,
And they offered it.
they offered it. Wow, holy,
Yeah.
okay, that's kind of crazy. I didn't think OKC or the Bucks would take that. I would not take that. I'd take J Dub and picks. That's so much more valuable to me. But
Hey man. Yeah.
yeah, stock's super low. Like we just talked about Dyson Daniels only being there for defense and not shooting threes, and you're exactly what Dyson your numbers look exactly identical to Dyson Daniels that we just talked about. Legitimately, I think that Daniels had all these numbers pretty much damn near. It it's unacceptable. Um, again, I don't think they should trade Chet. I don't think they should do anything to OKC's
Yeah.
roster. I mean, you're gonna have to do
You gotta do
something
something. It's
because
super
yeah, it's
expensive.
very expensive. But I don't think the big three is gonna should do anything or go anywhere. They're smart, and if
Yeah.
they do, then maybe you send Chet for Giannis, which would be probably better, honestly. Like yeah, Chet number 2 in defensive player of the year, but it didn't feel like it really in those games.
Mhm.
And defensive player of the year, you got Giannis defensive player of the year. So it's like you're trading a guy who's better on offense. That's what you really needed in these in the last game. You only lost by 7 or 8. It wasn't even like y'all lost by a lot, and Chet only took 2 shots. Why did he play 33 minutes? I would have got him off the floor after 15. He didn't take no shots. Like I know you need him defensively, but damn, he is like you didn't have to guard him. He didn't take any shots. Like even the games where he went 4 for 4 to start, right? Which I think was game 6. He ended with 9 field goal attempted. Like,
Yeah.
what happens? Like, I don't know if he's scared. I don't know. Wemby really just struck fear in his eyes, and it's crazy. Yeah. Okay, That's all I got for chat. Anything else?
No, yeah. I think we talked about everything we can about
Okay.
Chat.
All right, and on to the last guy, De'Aaron Fox.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And because it's the last guy, um, I don't
You want to
know.
talk about him?
Yeah, I'll come and say something about him because I feel very heavy on this.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I didn't feel so
At,
heavy, I would not cut off
at
Aiden
game
like
one,
this
yeah.
here. But during the playoffs, he was relatively okay. How much money is he making before I say anything?
He right now he's making 37, but next year
Okay,
he's making
40,
50.
50. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
um, Portland game, whatever. Not the greatest team. Free injury. Minnesota game or series. I know I keep saying game. Still really wasn't the best or efficient. A lot of games you went under 40%. 8 of 23, 7 of 19, 5 of 14, 6 of 15. Yeah, you said 40% right there, but that's still pushing it. From three, not the greatest, 32% for the whole series. You know, sometimes he does make big timely shots, but you're making you're making 50 mil next year. It's getting costly. Against OKC, you had a good game one or yeah, you were injured the other games, but good game four. Unfortunate or game three technically. I don't know why the ESPN has it like this, where the name is on the bottom. I keep getting messed up because of that. Yeah, you had a relatively good, okay game four or game three. Keep getting mistaken for some reason, and then your efficiency just goes down. Like 5 of 13, 4 of 15, 1 of 9, and then you finally have a good game. And then New York, 3 of 13. They brought you in to be the veteran guard. You know, you're not that old, but you're old. Veteran guard for the consistency that you were beforehand. And I know you're still probably a little injured, but even beforehand in the Minnesota game, it wasn't like amazing. It just feels like he's not that big of a factor besides like ball, like controlling the ball, I guess, or handling the ball for
Yep.
turnovers, which is very important. Don't get me wrong, but then you can't be taking that many shots. You know, 3 of 13
Yep.
is unacceptable in the finals. Had you made 3 of those, right, you guys would still be within arm's reach. And that would still only put you at not even 50% from the field. Against OKC, you had a lot of games where you just didn't feel like you were scoring a lot, and they needed you to. You know, you're supposed to be the veteran guard for them, and I know you're working through injury, but it's time to step up now. If you're gonna play through the injury. If you're gonna be injured, then be injured. We can't have you come in here and shoot badly. 3 of 13. 6 of 12 was fine. That was good. 1 of 9 is not good. 4 of 15. 5 of 15. 8 of 23. 7 of 19. We can't have you coming in here and doing that as the starting point guard, as the veteran guy. Right. Coach Mitch Johnson took Dylan Harper out for you in the final like 8 minutes of the game, and you did absolutely nothing. You didn't assist, you didn't score, you didn't defend. Didn't defend the greatest, at least. And this is where people say that the dynasty starts after you, not with you. And
Yeah.
that kind of feels like that might be the case. Great player, not good for 50 mil. 20 mil, fine. 30 mil, fine, maybe. Maybe not even. It's just disappointing. My stock was high after the Minnesota series, even with your spotty games. Then during the OKC, I know you were injured. It's definitely fallen. It wasn't high. My bad. It wasn't high, but I definitely saw it looked better. And maybe it's just because you're injured. And I could be wrong, but it's been like 2-3 weeks. You should not be that injured anymore, and it still might be hassling you, which I understand. But then you should not be taking this many shots, man. I know they still need you out there, but you gotta say something. You're the vet. You're not Dylan Harper, the rookie. You know, Summer Castle, the sophomore, Wemby, the junior. You are a vet. It's time to do and be a vet. And I don't know, it's just it hasn't been amazing basketball. And I want to see good basketball
Yep.
because the Spurs need him.
Yep.
They need you. Yeah.
Mhm.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, you're completely right. This has been, for me, very disappointing because I really like De'Aaron Fox. Um, I just, I just wish that, yeah, the offensive side is just so inconsistent. It's just, or it's just he can handle the ball, and that's what that's what's most notable with him in any of these series is that without De'Aaron, it's just Stephon Castle just cannot handle the ball as good as De'Aaron Fox, and it's just, and that's kind of just it. You know, if you look at the team and what they provide and what they do, Stephon Castle is just such a good um, rim attacker, and Dylan Harper just looks phenomenal. But the problem is turnovers, and it's just, De'Aaron Fox. He is, a good ball handler, and but when he's on the floor, it's just he just looks like a complete non-factor. Every time I watch the games with De'Aaron Fox, or at least um during OKC, when he wasn't injured, or any of those other games, it's just he just looked like he just provided nothing. He was just there to hold the ball, and even after that, it's just he was not he was not a threat at all offensively. There was just nothing there. Like he just felt like he wasn't even on the court most of the times.
It's just because he wasn't efficient.
And
Yeah. Game 7,
yeah, I mean,
it did feel like he was there, but everything else,
it's just,
yeah.
like he's 30% from three. The playoff these playoffs, and it's just like he's just, I don't know. He's just, this team. There's just offensively, this team is just so, at least from three, is just so inconsistent. And you can't have a guy like De'Aaron Fox be inconsistent, or at least your second guy, who's supposed to be your second guy, be this inconsistent offensively. And yeah, I'm not super duper low
Yeah, me neither.
yet. If, I don't know, these next games he just pulls up some absolute stinkers, um, then yeah. But it's just, he's getting paid 50 million, man. Uh, we're
Yeah.
gonna need to start seeing something,
Yeah.
just something. But I'm not too low on him. I'm not
Too
really
high.
high on him.
Yeah.
It's just, I want him. He needs to do better. He needs to do better. He needs to do something. Honestly, you kind of just have to just let Dylan Harper do his thing or something,
Yeah.
because him coming in for Dylan Harper was just not good. I mean, everyone's saying that. At least from what I'm seeing is that Mitch Johnson should not have put in De'Aaron Fox. They should have just stuck it out with Dylan Harper. And but I don't know. That's politics in the basketball, so that's different. So I don't know. I my stock's not too. My stock's all right with De'Aaron Fox. So
Yeah.
that's
Like I'm
that's
not that
my
disappointed, but
thing.
it's like it's starting to lower a lot more through these playoffs.
Yeah.
And it's kind of at the point where it's like it's okay, but I can definitely see if you guys don't win this year and you don't have any good showings, um,
Hmm.
that De'Aaron Fox. I'm saying you as if he's watching, but that if De'Aaron Fox doesn't have a good series, that he will be traded. Um,
Yep.
just to
Yep.
make the team better, because you're making too much money, first of all. And I know a lot of people can use a 50 mil guard, or not 50 mil, but like a guard like De'Aaron Fox, who is good. He's not bad, but for a team like this, it's gonna have to be a little bit better. Uh, I would want to see him
Yep.
be a better. I can't see him being traded, but I would want them to trade him. I see him being traded in the next
Yeah.
2 years if they don't do good, or if he doesn't do a most amazing or something. But yeah, I hope he does good, and I hope the Spurs can win this year. But if they don't, I think he's definitely on the chopping block for either next year or this year, or the year after. I guess is more the saying. But yeah. But yeah, that'll probably be it for today's video. Unless there's anything else to talk about.
Um. I mean, the entire Knicks roster, phenomenal. That's kind of
Yeah, big upswings. If you guys feel like there's some players we're missing or that you would want to see us talk about, feel free to let us know down below and let us know if you even got to this point. And I doubt you did. So it might not matter. But yeah, just something we want to do just because I feel like it's important, something interesting to talk about. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And we'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.
Bye bye.